You didn't say hit record.
Yes, please hit record, Will. Go ahead, hit record. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right.
Record is on.
I hate you. Welcome to the podcast.
We should just do a cold opening.
Yeah, you should. I'm not supposed to hit record. Hit record, Will.
Oh my god. Sorry, I didn't know how to mental invalid over here. I'm a podcaster.
People in your country that like to crash planes and stuff, that America's going over there. That's just
I have no dog in this fight between either of them.
You won't because Peter.
He was just trying to get a cam girl to teach people trades. So he thought, let's harness this power for good.
So I'm sure what all of our viewers are wondering is, are these on Pornhub?
I do not know.
I will check.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fuck Clay Podcast.
Shut the hell up.
You will not silence us, Clay.
Are we ready?
Yeah. So
we got the sillies out.
yeah, man.
Yeah, we're gonna need to bring the sillies back.
Yeah. You got the sillies out. It's supposed to be funny podcast.
All right.
You guys done with your bullshit?
Nah, I'm never.
All right. Now that we're a fucking minute into the thing, let me go ahead and start the podcast, please.
I just got to the minute.
Jackasses.
Welcome everybody.
Don't you try to run my life.
Welcome everybody to the Unfiltered Podcast. This is Will. Welcome back, peoples.
What up?
What's up, guys? Fuck Clay.
All right. I guess we're fucking starting then.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 7, everyone.
Black's run this one.
There's been a bunch of just fuckery going on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into so this shit happened. And first off, we got the Democrats are apparently pushing a jack-off bill.
We can
That's
jack
what
off
I'm
in public.
calling it, okay?
We can jack off in public.
They're pushing a law that requires men to call the police anytime they release sperm. Okay. Now, I'll go ahead and say
a long time ago.
it's called the Testicular Bill of Rights package.
Clay, you fucking serious?
I'm dead serious.
Testicular package.
Let me
The
read.
the Testicular Bill of Rights.
You know I can't
Package.
read.
And it says
Now-
a package.
Yeah,
If I
package.
call-
Yeah, in the name package.
If I call them, will they come over with a carpet shampooer?
No, so it requires as a mandate that any man 55 years or older immediately report to the county sheriff or local law enforcement agency when such male releases sperm from his testicles.
Why?
55 or older?
Apparently, yeah.
Hey, no. We're
We're
not
gonna
gonna,
why?
we're
Now-
not glaze over fact. Why?
Now, I'm getting to that. So, this was allegedly done. This is in Georgia, by the way. I meant to mention. This is in the Georgia House. This was done to, and I quote, bring awareness to the fact that if you're going to legislate our bodies, then we have every right to propose legislation to regulate yours. Okay. So it's in response to the heartbeat abortion bill. So this is like,
Did you guys hear about
yeah,
that?
No.
I disagree with that
The
bill.
heartbeat. You can't abort a child
If it has a heartbeat.
if it has a heartbeat,
Okay.
unless
Which
it's
is
due to
stupid as
medical
fuck.
reasons.
Yeah.
Which is stupid as fuck because it's done by people who don't actually.
I say if they get
probably
bad
never seen
grades,
a
you
fetus.
take them in the backyard like Old Yeller.
Abortion's up to the age of 2, everyone.
I say 7.
Okay, so so that wasn't the only thing that this requires. So in addition to the ejaculation reporting requirement, the legislation would force men to obtain permission from their sexual partners before obtaining a prescription for Viagra, which makes no fucking sense. I don't even understand what the parallel is there. And then to ban vasectomies in the state, classify sex without a condom as aggravated assault. Mandate.
What? No. Go back. I want.
They're trying to cuff everyone, man. That's all. That's all it is. It's just some sad woman who can't.
But they said over the age of 55, so I don't care.
Yeah.
No. That's just for that part. All of this is for the other stuff. So everyone. So sex without a condom would be.
Who the fuck we got to roll up on?
Aggravated assault.
I'll burn some shit down. I'll do it. I would not do it.
How are you gonna mandate? You just. Oh, you use the condom. That's aggravated assault right there.
Wow, Sway.
I mean, she's technically not wrong. You've assaulted her daycare.
He beat the pussy up too good. That's what take him to jail.
Okay.
That's foolishness.
It's
just grown adults just coming up with bullshit every week. Every week.
This is our tax dollars hard at work. I want to point that out. Our tax dollars are going to their salary for them to put this bullshit into Congress.
I almost feel like committed to just not living in America anymore.
Yeah.
There's nowhere better, man. There's nowhere better. You go to England, right? You think, oh, let's go to England. That's the closest thing to America. Nah, you go over there, you misgender someone, the police start investigating you.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
That in Canada, too.
Yeah,
it's considered a hate crime.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you call someone who's like, I identify as a woman, if you call that person a man, the police come and investigate.
Oh, I definally can't go there.
Yeah, none of us can, man.
That is
especially
why
since
even if it's accidental, and even if it's like a deeply held belief, and even if the person doesn't even look like the gender they're claiming to be, you get investigated by the cops.
Correct.
Yeah, it
Correct.
was like
On the flip
you
side,
misgendered that person, but that's a whole nigga over there. You see that? Just a whole nigga.
I got to tell you guys something real quick that, man.
All right.
So I was at work, and this lady asked for my help. And when I went to go help her, I saw another lady sitting next to her. All right. Looked like a lady, sound like a whole dude. A whole dude. I was like, "You good, ma'am?" "Yeah, I'm good." And then the other, "Excuse me, sir."
Yes, sir.
I'm mad you had to lower your voice.
It's ma'am.
I went over there. "Yes?"
It's ma'am.
I need some
fucking
help
aim.
over here. Okay. Please do not hurt me. I don't have any money.
I was like, look, Dave Batista, if you don't calm that shit down, let's go to the store.
It reminded me of that video I tagged y'all in with that guy was.
Oh,
he was. So his friend set him up on a blind date.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'ma fuck you. But that is wild. Like
So that's not even the end of it, too. So it would also mandate paternity testing at 8 weeks of pregnancy. It would require expectant fathers to start paying child support immediately, and it would impose a 24-hour waiting period on men wanting to purchase porn or sex toys in the state of Georgia.
huh? Hey,
I knew that one was gonna piss you off.
Oh, I don't care about that. I don't buy
no
no
one
porn
purchases
anyway.
porn or whatever, right?
well,
No,
it's still the fact
stop
that
targeting
principle.
porn.
Yeah, it's on principle.
Well,
Don't fuck with our porn, man.
we'll even think about it like
It'll
this.
piss
You know
people
those
off.
free subscriptions you get for a week at like on Valentine's Day that Pornhub
Yeah,
does?
yeah.
You gotta wait a whole day for that to kick in.
Oh.
You know how upsetting that would be. And all the guys, yeah, I'm gonna
Jump
get in
ship
today.
back to X video.
X videos will guarantee have your favorite video either on the first or 5 pages.
Fuck that.
I was the first of I hate you, Jojo.
No, you just get like a NordVPN or something like that. Hey, sponsor us, guys. But you can get like some kind of virtual private network. They wouldn't even know it was coming from Georgia.
You know the crazy thing about this that's really just kind of blowing my mind is the fact that they're implementing such just because of one rule or one law, in my opinion. Which and I understand the idea that you can't abort a kid, and I think that's in my opinion is unjust for the individual to you taking their right away to choose.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I'm pro-life, but I'm not exactly pro-choice as well because of the fact that if both individuals consciously made a bad decision, there has to be some set of consequences for it. Obviously, there is consequences in the fact that, she still has to go through the process of getting the abortion, the payments, and so on.
Definitely not fun.
Yeah, and it also scars.
Yeah,
it will scar.
Yeah, there's emotional.
I heard they had like nightmares and stuff like
that. And so I get that aspect of it, but I think what the biggest problem with my thing with abortion in general is that they're focused so much on the women's aspect of abortion and not the men's aspect of abortion.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the same thing as the custody rights. If you're a dad, you don't get shit.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That's my only beef that I actually have with the abortion thing.
Yeah.
Like I only dislike the whole abortion thing is because there's only one person gets to choose what happens to 3 lives.
Basically,
like if they could get rid of all their responsibility, just one day, I'm going in here, cut it out, and then it's 3 people. You just made the decision not to have that responsibility. I think that both parties should be able to. If y'all both aren't ready, or if you're ready and I'm not, that's just how it.
I agree with you.
I'd be
also.
I'm pro-choice, but I'd be more pro-choice if fathers weren't like. So all right, you have the kid or whatever, but you don't end up staying with the girl. Well, you owe child support.
Yeah.
You don't get a choice. You don't get to opt out, but they have the option to opt out. So like, there's no conversation at all about the choice side of opting out.
Yeah, you don't get to opt out of being a parent.
I think there should be something like legal abortion.
Yeah, it should. I mean, you should be allowed. The option should be there. But at the same time, I think if you're going to give the option to have abortion, you should have the same right to choose for dads or fathers, I guess.
I think this is how I feel, and this is how I think would be the best way to put it in my terms. If women are going to get upset with the point of like pro-choice, if you want to be pro-choice, then men should also have some form of pro-choice as well.
Right.
Being the fact that Georgia has implemented that law, it should give. It's kind of taking that leeway in where we can argue, all right, Georgia's pro-choice, and it's not pro-choice anymore, but Georgia, is pro-life. If it was pro-choice, you can make the argument, okay, well, now we need to implement something that would suffice the men in the aspect of the pro-choice movement. Right. But there's nothing to do that.
And also I can even think of a good example. Like, there's somebody that I know that got a girl pregnant. They were in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Then she, without telling him that she was pregnant, aborted the child. Didn't say anything to him.
So he didn't even know that he even had a kid. Or, I mean, not had a kid, but...
Until afterwards, after she did it. Then she told him everything.
Right, then she told him.
And then it was,
and also it's gone.
Yeah, it was like, so you just got rid of my child without, at least give me the courtesy. Hey, I'm cutting this out.
Yeah,
we're just
know it's there to begin with. Like,
see, that'd be also a really dicey topic to talk about at that point in time. Because then it's like, so if a woman wants a child and the man doesn't, we can always talk to an option of legally like disowning and distancing yourself from the child. But like in the aspect, like what if it's the other way around? The woman doesn't want the child and the man does want it.
No, yeah, I understand that. Well, so here's the thing, right? I don't think you're ever going to have, because there's an asymmetry, right? There's a difference between female bodies and male bodies. There's just a difference there. And you're never going to be able to fully correct that symmetry. So I think there's going to be some negative situations that you're going to have to accept. Like if the male wants the kid, the female doesn't. I don't think you can necessarily force someone to carry that to term, because it is different, and that the female is the one actually carrying the kid around.
I agree.
So like I think that would like
it came
sucks.
out of us first.
Yep.
Give it back. What about like? But then that's what I'm saying. Like I agree.
I shouldn't say never because like it's possible. Maybe I mean you could imagine maybe some future where they could like extract it and then grow it in like a
surrogate.
like a
test tube, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord knows where human like biotechnology is going to be in the future, right? So maybe there is a better solution down the road where it's like, okay, we can just grow this here since you didn't want it. But like, I think for right now, there's no solution that'll make everyone happy, and I think that's probably one of the things that would have to be sacrificed at this stage because
I agree.
You really
Ladies
can't
and
force someone
gentlemen,
to
welcome
carry,
to the Science
in my
Podcast.
eyes, you can't force someone to carry can't force someone to carry a kid to term.
I agree. And I guess that's one sacrifice men would have to be like. It's just kind of a give and take thing. We're giving you the option to opt out of being a parent, but you have to give up the right to. If she doesn't want it, that is her ultimate right.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is actually it's more important to give the fathers the option to opt out than it is to worry about the fathers like wanting the kid. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But I would rather them err on the side of this guy really doesn't want the kid. Don't force this guy to even be in the kid's life if he doesn't want the kid. Yeah. And that's kind of someone who loves kids. And I would, if I ended up getting some girl pregnant, I am damn sure not going to opt out of that. That's not what I would ever do. But I don't see it as right to force someone.
The old
I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But I'm saying I don't see that it's right to force someone to be in a kid's life because at that point you're really just damaging the kid anyways.
Yeah.
And the same thing comes with and I say the same thing for so it's child support, custody, all that stuff. If they just don't want it, don't force that on them. Like if she should, if she's not going to have the abortion, knowing that he's not going to be there for the kid, there shouldn't be some way to force the person to take care of it.
Yeah.
And then later on in life, if you change your mind and you want to be in the kid's life, too bad. You should have never.
Yes,
I agree.
You have opted out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't come back years later.
You don't have any rights.
And also,
exactly.
And also, I have to say, like, as an added on to like what it would have to be is like from the beginning, you would have to not want the kid. You would have to have it documented that you were like, hey. You'd have to catch it as early as they would have had to do it because, like, you can't just be in somebody's life. You just be like, "Oh, I'm going to help. I'm going to take care,"
and then
and then the kid comes out, and then, "Hey, where'd he go?"
Because that's wrong. But
Yeah,
if you're upfront from,
He went to go get milk, Clay.
Yeah. When they sort of get cigarettes.
See, and but the thing is, I think that's also another thing where it comes like, I don't think child support would be that big of an issue as it stands right. Like, if child support was structured the way it is now, right, with this opt-out option, I wouldn't have so much gripes with child support.
Yeah.
I still would because it takes an unfair amount.
It takes an unfair amount for someone that chose not to opt out.
It takes an unfair amount for someone who makes a lot of money. It takes probably not enough amount for someone who doesn't make very much money.
That's debatable because you got to make sure because you got to make a living for yourself.
No, I totally get that.
Like you got to support an additional household.
I know
they take a percentage that you can't live off of.
I'm only talking about it as from the perspective of what the kid needs. That's all. I'm not saying that like it doesn't hurt the person. It hurts the person totally.
I get what you're saying. It's gonna hurt the person regardless.
I'm saying at the extremes, either the kid's getting too much or the kid's not getting even close to enough.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And in the case that they're not even getting close to enough, maybe you should look somewhere other than the father for the money.
Yeah, well, really. In most cases, they get.
My bad, Will.
But in most cases like that, it's where they're not getting enough. They're probably getting it through some form of welfare.
Right. Well, I mean, at that point, you should just rely on that because at that point, you're also hurting the other guy's life unnecessarily because it's what you're taking from him isn't sufficient for the kid anyway. So what's the point? Now you're just making two people's lives miserable.
I just think a lot of this, just in my opinion, it's a really dicey subject when it comes. There's no perfect fix to it. Because the best solution for the initial point of conception would be to give both parents a chance to choose, and the woman has the ultimate choice
Right, whether the kid comes out
Correct.
of her or not, yeah.
Correct. And then once we get to the point where things happen and both then split, then we have to work on a way to like average out what the cost like per person, the average cost for a child based off of the location where a child's raised and so on and so forth.
Like just split it up like childcare, diapers, food, stuff like things like that. And I don't think that her room and board should be factored into the equation, because if you have a functioning household, why can't the kid come and stay with you? And yeah, if you're going to be a father, you're going to take care of your kid. Why does she get to keep it if you're like... It's back to the point that I made. That's back to the point that I made before on the earlier podcast. Please see the other videos.
Yes, go watch
like, sub, and hit that bell.
Well, she gets to keep it and then also tax you for the privilege of her keeping it. Like, what sense does that make? You got to pay for her to keep the kid.
And then she gets the benefits of having a kid by getting the welfare and the tax breaks. Right. So, like, it's ultimately, like...
Not saying all single moms are on welfare. My mom was never on welfare.
Well, it's not even just... Single. Not even welfare. Like, you get tax benefits in the long run for being, a single mom. You get benefits for being a single mom. Like, and I'm not saying welfare in general isn't, like... an aspect of like assistance, but welfare in this aspect of like people view, and I'll say even nowadays, back then they used to view. I think the idea of a single mom has changed so much.
Right.
Back then it used to be seen as, in most cases, as like a promiscuous thing. And,
yeah.
But now
it's like a whore or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's kind of evolved into what it's become.
Well,
now.
we've had the breakdown of the American family. I mean, if you look at it,
I agree.
American nuclear family. I mean, for good or for bad, but the divorce rate is fucking skyrocketed. And I think a huge part of that is like all the shotgun marriages that go on. Like, I see so many people get married at age 20.
Or after being with each other after like 6 months.
Well, that's kind of, I guess, what I was implying from that. We're like 18, or like as soon as they can get married, and they've been together for like 6 months of the end of their senior year.
High school sweetheart.
Yeah, like, do you really think this is going to work out?
One thing I also think they need to do is they need to figure out a way to.
Because I even get getting married at age 20 if you've been with the person for multiple years.
Yeah, like me and my wife were together for 6 years before we got married.
Yeah,
and then,
which is a pretty long time to be together.
And we've been together for 11 years now.
Yeah.
So, like...
Usually that's when the black man proposes.
It's that half Korean part.
Yeah, Will is only half, so that's why she had to wait 6 years.
Hi, this is Will. I was pressured.
But I mean, after 6 years, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it like
you might as well.
Also, I think one of the
11 years is when you start thinking about marrying her. Just
do I really want to be?
Once again, ladies, Tyme is single, so go ahead and hit him up.
And the pretty one.
I'm not gonna live that long, so 11 years, I'm gonna be dead before then.
35. That's the cocaine party, right?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Still
cocaine
not
and
going.
flamethrowers.
I'm still not going. Fuck that.
But we got to. I've heard of the plan. We're chloroforming Jojo and taking him in there.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
He's gonna wake up. As soon as he wakes up, we're just gonna throw cocaine in his face.
You can't call the police now. He's high.
As soon as he wakes up, he's like, "Why is this big funnel in my nose?" And we're just gonna start dumping down cocaine in it.
Partake of the fruit.
Partake of the fruit.
I need new friends.
Yeah, man, we're gonna get you high on cocaine, get you married unbeknownst to you.
Oh hell no, that's happened at the time. We're going to go to
We don't even have to go to Las Vegas. I am ordained.
Yeah, you can do it. Right.
I'm not signing no damn paperwork for real. That's just how.
He'll sign it for you.
Nah. Yeah, but you get real drunk one night.
Just put his thumbprint on it too.
You know damn well from being around me.
I wanted to become I'm actually thinking about becoming a notary too.
Oh no, yeah, a public
notary.
Yeah, public notary. Thank you.
It's so like, not only would I be able to ordain his marriage, but then I also could be the notary. And yeah, I saw him sign it.
You'll just need a witness as well, I think.
I'm the
You need
witness.
the notary and the witness. You can't be the
I
notary
don't
and
think-
the witness.
I don't
I know
think
for a
we'll-
fact you can't do that.
We were never doing stuff legal around here.
I don't
See the
think
disclaimer, we don't actually do illegal stuff. Please see the disclaimer.
We have not been caught doing anything illegal.
Legal
You have
shit.
no proof.
I'm selling weed. You can't stop me.
Yeah,
I'm
no
not
proof
selling
that'll
weed.
hold up in court. Just out
There
there.
you go.
But like, I agree with the aspect that the family, the household, like the family has been like broken out. They've glorified the single parenthood.
I think they glorified marriage, honestly. I think that's the main thing, is that like people who have such a big thing about, oh, the wedding ceremony and oh, this and that, or something like that. And
See, I think that's what led to the beginning of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, and so like the beginning of the problem is that everyone, like, it was always the girl's dream to have a big wedding, right? And because of the fact that women tend to mature,
like Disney movies.
yeah, I know, right? Because of the fact that women tend to mature faster than men, around the age of, like, I think the statistic was around 18 to 20s. They're
Usually about 2 years ahead in terms of like mental development. I think
yeah,
it is,
and they're already considering like their household at that point in time, around the age of 20.
right.
Men around the age of 25 are establishing themselves as individuals, and what happens is a lot of times is what men want to have a foundation built before they lead into marriage.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
so
that's what you should do. That's
I agree.
The thing is, like, you should actually do that.
I agree, but what was a big problem was the narrative that women have a biological clock ticking,
Yeah.
where in actuality it's not true.
Right.
They say around the age of 30, you start to 30 and 40s is when you're less likely to have kids, and you're less fertile.
But you'll still have kids.
Yeah, well,
Is the
yeah.
thing. Like,
they even did a study on it. You know, the percentage of you having, like, your fertility drops 3%.
oh wow.
3%.
Wow. Whole
From
3%.
from being the age of like 20, you're all the way to your 30s, right, which is considered your prime,
Right.
to your 30s to 50s, or around the age of 45, realistically drops 3%. So your fertility doesn't change.
That's virtually the same.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
virtually the same.
they push that narrative. And so you got the woman's already thinking about a family. They push the narrative that they need to have kids at a younger age so
Yeah.
that because they also they've also glorified seeing grandkids. Parents now want to see their grandkids. Parents now strive to see their great grandkids nowadays.
Yeah.
I always ask my mom if she got grandkids money if she asks about them. It was like, Tyme, when you gonna give me some grandkids? I was like, you got some grandkids money?
Congrats, you played yourself.
I'm so glad my
That
parents
is
don't say that to
amazing.
me.
But I mean, that's just how it is. Like we were talking with a friend of ours today.
Yeah.
Grandkids money.
I got a meme of that. I'll send it to you. I got
She
a
did.
meme
It's
like
that chain she stole from you. Just
I'm still not happy about that, even though I took it back. I'm still not happy
you
about
Nah,
took it
man,
back?
Tyme, you guys came into some money. She got grandkids money now. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
all right, everyone. When we start a Patreon, donate to us so Tyme can have grandkids money.
Please.
Or Tyme's mom. Sorry, so Tyme's
Please.
mom can have grandkids money.
I don't look. I want kids. Like, have my mom have.
Nah, Tyme's
grandkids
first.
money. Come on.
Time's got to get
I'm
grandkids
poor.
first.
Time's first.
That's a
because he
damn
doesn't
lie.
pay to
Will's the
live
only
on.
one with the house.
I stole this.
They don't know
Didn't
we're
really
here.
Steal this. You can't steal homes.
Yeah,
You can break in and record. We just.
That's
If
that's-
you maybe you take the home and push it
Where
somewhere else.
else? But we're also talking about, like, we're talking to a friend of ours today about families and so on and so forth. Me and him were both half Asian. He's half Filipino, and even in the Asian household,
Oh,
man,
he's half Mexican Asian.
it's funny. They all call him Mexican.
I'm not joking, man. They're the Mexicans of Asia.
That's fair.
I don't know. They're not the
Them,
Mexicans.
the Indonesians.
Do they work hard?
Actually, the Indonesians might be the Puerto Ricans. I don't know if they got.
The-
Which one doesn't have holidays? They're the Puerto Ricans. No. Whichever country doesn't have any holidays, they're the Puerto Ricans. Indonesia.
Guam has holidays and stuff. But even like
they're part of the U.S., so they get our holidays.
They're considered what, Pacific Islanders? What do they call them?
Panamanians?
No.
Did you say pandemoniums?
Panamanians. That's way off. That is way off.
Well, they're Pacific
We
Islanders.
may need to edit some of the JoJo.
JoJo's
stuff.
the line.
That's just.
We just need to have like the picture of our. You guys wait till you can see our buy merch. We have this picture of JoJo sitting on the podcast logo, and just we're gonna have him like dipping below the line every so often.
He's the only one without a suit.
Because I choose not to wear a suit.
But they're crazy. They're considered the same thing as Polynesians. Polynesians. They're considered the same.
Ain't that a
Didn't
sauce?
we agree that was the blood of Jesus? The sauce? I think we agreed on a previous one. That was the blood of Jesus.
Every time I went to Chick-fil-A, they never gave me a whole person. Is that where that came from? Do I need to have a talk with Chick-fil-A?
Well, you know that like Hawaii, people in Hawaii are considered Polynesian.
Yeah.
So like they fall in the same category as like the people in the Philippines.
They got like the Chick-fil-A mines over there. There's a bunch of Polynesians.
That's where it came
sauce
from.
out of the ground.
There's
got
a special
volcanoes.
berry that grows.
They got to get the Polynesian rocks out of the ground. Grind it up.
But I digress. I guess the family ethics come from different categories of families and so on and so forth. We got to see where it goes. This law doesn't really exactly help anything.
Oh, this law won't go anywhere.
No, I hope.
Yeah, it won't. But we should repeal the other law too.
I agree.
The heartbeat. No, okay, so I was gonna say.
I wish every time like there's a elected official that says something dumb as hell, they should just get locked up.
General jackassery. Bring that Canadian law. Look, this is like the fourth time we've talked about needing this law. Yeah,
they're wasting taxpayers' money. Technically, they are robbing the U.S. of resources.
That's fair.
This is the fourth time we've talked about that. We need this law here. That's the law they should be passing. Is the law against general jackassery?
And I want it to be called that.
Yeah,
General
the law
jackassery.
against general jackassery. But yeah, the thing that people do with like the heartbeat, it has a heartbeat, it has fingernails. That thing looks like a goddamn alien. Go look at one.
In my personal opinion, everyone looks like some kind of fucking alien.
There's some grown ass people that look like aliens, but that's aside the point.
I've seen some real ugly niggas.
And then
I'm just saying, you think it was a lizard?
Them out.
Like you would think it was a lizard. Oh, it has a heartbeat.
I agree.
then if
It
they
has a
go,
fucking triceratops head and a long ass tail. That's a human. No, it's not. Not yet.
it's a parasite.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
also-
It's a fucking parasite at that point.
Also,
Agreed.
if they do pass that law where there's no more abortions, there's going to be like
It's already been passed.
Yeah, the one that you can't have it past the heartbeat or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
that's
which
crazy.
violates a Supreme Court decision. So I
Yeah,
don't know how the fuck they're doing that.
Well, you know, it's also
it's
the
just
thing
like weed. Weed violates like it's not federally legal, so it's actually technically illegal in the country, but they just smoke it in
They're
those
just not
places
enforcing
just
it.
because.
Well, Jeff
like,
Sessions got kicked out anyways, right?
Yeah.
Man, we were gonna start I digress, but we were gonna start a petition to buy Jeff Sessions some weed. Me and a couple of people at the place that I work at, we were gonna start not a petition, a GoFundMe. We were gonna start a GoFundMe that was titled "Buy Jeff Sessions Some Weed."
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're just
You
gonna buy
guys
it.
messed up my setup for my joke about coat hanger fishing.
Sorry.
That's awful. That is awful.
You gotta wiggle it out.
You get up in there, you hear like the Jaws music playing.
That is awful.
I think I got my hook on it. Snapped.
You know, you gotta talk about these movies.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on. All right,
Stir it around till you feel something catch.
we're moving on. We're moving on.
And if you miss, you got 3 more tries before she die.
We're moving on.
On to the next one.
All right. So, Will, you had something you wanted to tell us about K-pop?
So K-pop recently has been getting the multi-billion-dollar industry in Korea has been getting huge stock plummets because of a sex scandal between one of its biggest artists and some of the businesses he owns.
Okay, now sex scandals are pretty common over here. Are they common in Korea?
Well, this level of sex scandal is technically not, I would consider, not common anywhere.
Oh.
Is it the type of sex scandal wherever they meet the girl on the train and then there's just a bunch of niggas grabbing at her? I seen that on X videos.
Yeah, man.
That the type of sex scandal?
I think that's Japan.
That's called rape.
I'm pretty sure that's Japan.
And rape is not okay.
Isn't it
I don't think that one's rape because I recognize that girl from other videos. It was just
This is an actual video?
Yeah.
I'll
pull it up.
fake or whatever.
Okay.
It was
It
just
is groping videos.
Okay.
yeah. It was weird.
Sometimes they'll fuck 'em.
I was like, what the fuck is
on
going on? Is this
I don't
legal?
enjoy this conversation anymore. I don't enjoy this conversation anymore. But it's a whole bunch of things going on. It's a lot of it's considered like there's like sex trafficking to an extent, sexual abuse, guys letting other guys rape women. There's a lot of guys. These guys joking about stuff. Like their chat is, and it's not just one.
So
guy.
Korean Harvey Weinstein, in other words.
Pretty worse. It's not him. It's everyone.
Now he made.
They're getting a lot of. It's not. The list keeps growing. Like every. So.
Well, see, I don't know what happened here. The list kept growing.
No, my wife, she loves K-pop.
Okay.
She loves, and so it started with Seungri, right? He was the first one.
Okay.
And then everyone, he was like one of the biggest pop stars for Big Bang.
Okay.
And
Theory?
it was
My sister listens to them.
yeah, and if they're really pop. I'm be honest with you, I've listened to some of their music, but I'm Korean, so that's my excuse. But
That's just like the equivalent of him listening to like all the other boy bands in the 2000s. It wasn't okay then. It's not okay now.
Look, I love music.
So
Don't judge me.
Will's just a faggot. That's all there is to it.
Come on, man.
That
Life
word
is hard.
has some spice to it. It just can't be.
You guys heard him on the last
that
episode.
that word has some spice to it. You know,
But
Are we allowed to say that?
It's the Unfiltered Podcast.
Will's a faggot.
I don't appreciate that word being called towards me, especially when my brother is a homosexual.
It's spreading. It's spreading.
Did you show him that? Wow. So you should only mind if he gets called that. What do you care?
It's okay if he gets called that because he'll beat someone up.
Will, your brother's a faggot.
I will not defend him. He's a grown man. But the list keeps going. Like it's a bunch of other guys from this, then other guys from other groups. This list is almost like 10 people strong.
Oh my lord.
And so, like, their stocks are plummeting. There's more and more. There are videos coming out of nowhere. It is like ruining K-pop in general.
God.
Could you imagine, like, going into work one day? I'm gonna make me $1 million. Get carted away. Oh my God, what is happening? or just come into work like, I just bought all this stock. What the? and it's crazy because in Korea you have to the men have to join the military.
Yeah, it's mandatory service.
Yeah. So those guys are now coming back from services and they're like, hey, you, is this your name? It's just bad dash. They're getting niggas out of the military.
Run.
Come on over here. Thank you for your service. Now go to jail.
Man, they don't have anywhere to run. You're not going to run to North Korea. That's worse. I'd rather go to jail.
I don't know, man.
They got food there.
You so right. Man, but it's wild because they're getting everyone. Like and you know, Korea is really big on like just Asian culture in general is really big on imagery.
Right.
You can't look bad. And so they're doing everything. They are purging these purging everyone. You get on out. You get on out. You come on in. You get on out.
You're getting fired, and you're getting fired. You're also getting fired. You're all getting fired.
Well, the crazy thing with the K-pop industry is that they groom these kids from like young ages.
Yeah.
So like there's like schools that they're going through while they're like
That's why there's like 2000s boy band music. Because they groomed them from young ages to now.
Maybe they're just paying attention to R. Kelly and just copying what he doing.
I think they're just about 20 years behind.
Well,
yeah, they didn't see nothing wrong with some bump and grind.
No, what it is I think that Korea has figured out a way to farm music that everyone else hasn't figured out yet.
Wait, what, with pop music?
Well, no. So in general,
we had Michael Jackson.
Think of it like this. All right, look, think like this. Let's say the industry, the music industry of Jojo, right?
Check it out. My mixtape's popping.
Finds these group of people, and they're like, these group of people work, right? And he makes hit records off them. Mm-hmm. And then now he has to go find another group of people to make his industry, they're promoted, so on and so forth, right? Korea, or let's say Tyme's, K-pop album, K-pop
Tyme
group.
got a K-pop album.
He's shaking his head no, but inside he's saying yes.
But Tyme's K-pop group, right? They're making millions of dollars, equal to what JoJo's making off his one-hit group, right?
Yeah.
But not only is he doing that, he's finding new talent and training them. Not before they become, and training them to take the next role, and is just circulating these pop stars on a consistent churn.
Yeah.
And so that downtime that the JoJo album has to go and find a new pop star or new whatnot, he's lost money, as opposed to Tyme is constantly pushing out $1 million here and there every turn, just $1 million. And that's why I'm saying like the Korea.
Is it $1 million in American money?
Yeah, bars of gold is equal for.
What'd you do with the bar of silver, Will? I want to know. I demand to know.
I'm trying to look for something new in the house.
Where's the bar of silver?
See, look,
is it in your freezer?
I don't have no bar of silver. I'm poor.
That means he hasn't cashed it in yet. That's what it is.
Will stole the silver.
Statute of limitations for theft on a grand scale is I think 5 years.
Hashtag Will stole the silver. This was like a month ago. Hashtag Will stole the silver.
Nah, man, please don't stop that hashtag.
Check the stove. I will check the stove. I have a feeling it's in the stove.
Boy, if I get up for another beer, I'll go check the stove.
That's ignorant.
Why would it be in the stove, Jojo?
I don't fucking know.
I'm not checking the
stove.
Because
it wouldn't make sense for me to put it in the stove.
I mean,
last place
there's
you ever
so
looked.
many places that it wouldn't make sense for you to put it. The stove's not the first place.
Wait, he did get a whole new fence.
It's under the fence.
Hey, you guys
he buried it under the fence.
You guys tear up my damn fence and fight it.
We just go out there with like jackhammers.
I'm not tearing up the whole fence, but I'm just tearing up the new section.
It's
whole fence.
Oh, the whole fence is
yeah,
new?
Fuck you.
All right. Just go out there with
sledgehammers.
You know what? And just...
we all got to make sacrifices sometime, okay? Sometimes you just got to sacrifice a fence for the greater good.
You do that, I'm going to sacrifice you guys for a new fence. Maybe the devil will
Hashtag Will stole the silver.
Nah, man.
If you sacrifice me, you won't get much, but probably like blood clots and... Yeah.
I don't bleed.
High blood pressure.
You, your blood starts coming out like syrup. It's like
just gonna go to Will. Why is my heart racing so fast?
I'd sacrifice you and be like, this is how I go. I don't know if you really exist or not, but here. That was just gonna be the end of it.
All right, so. We probably got that toilet flush on the microphones, but that's okay.
Congratulations, Tyme.
I hate you.
First one to shit during the podcast.
Nice long piss.
Oh, okay. Someone shit.
It smells bad over here.
It was Will.
I hate you, Will.
I did not shit.
All right, fine, you sharded.
I did not shit.
Okay, so we promised customer service stories a while back. We're actually going to get to them this week because we forgot last week. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I forgot. But we're getting to the customer
came up
service.
with it last week.
No, we got carried away with something.
No. We came up with it the week we were talking about the crazy guy that came into my work, and you were talking about that girl getting called the N-word and everything. That was episode 5, I think.
Clay, did I
4
tell
or
you
5,
that
something
time
like
this lady invited me, Tyme, and Jojo to an orgy?
Yes.
Yeah.
But please tell everyone else about that.
So I was working.
You hearing this, Carrie?
Oh, the first.
In his defense, he did deny it.
Yep.
He did turn them down.
I seen it. Kinda.
So I was at work. This is when I was working in PR, and this lady comes in and she needed some help with some stuff. I was the guy that was kind of like the middleman before the person took delivery of their services and so on and so forth and left the vehicles. And so I'd help her, show her how the vehicles and everything worked and so on and so forth.
Right.
And she goes, "You are a really handsome black man." And I looked at her, it's just like old white lady. She's like 5'7", give or take. Yeah. And she's like
5'7" is short to Will because he's tall.
Nigga, that's taller than me.
Jojo.
It is
midget,
definitely not taller than me, though.
Yeah, nor me.
But
Jojo's a midget.
Fuck y'all tall niggas.
that's also why JoJo's the shortest one on the little
Anytime we don't want Jojo to get at our shit, we just put it on top of the fridge.
I'll reach
He
it.
can't reach it.
I'll reach it.
Nah.
You forget black people can jump, Clay.
Yep.
Fine, I'll put it on top at the back of the fridge.
I'll knock it down. I'm getting it some way.
But so
I'd go in there and Jojo would knock the whole fridge over. Just for like a bag
there
of Skittles.
can only be none. But so what ended up happening is she says that, I'm like, "Thank you, ma'am," so on and so forth. Just trying to be nice and like get this lady, get the hell out my face.
Yeah, it's an old ass lady.
And then she goes, "I don't know if you're into this stuff, but
great way to open up a conversation."
And she leans in and like whispers to me, "I don't know if you're into this stuff, but I know people that like to have sex with lots of people, and they normally, I don't know if you know, it's called swingers, or some people call it an orgy, but it's mainly called swingers." And I was like, "Okay, I've heard of this. I heard of this. I'm not saying I'm advocating for. I've heard of this. I know what you're talking about. We've all seen the X videos." and then she's
mind
like,
your business, Carrie.
She's collecting evidence.
And then she's like,
she's recording it now.
It's already being recorded by 4 microphones.
I know, but she's a woman.
"You so right." But then she's like, and most of the times when you bring someone to these things, you usually have to bring someone with you, like a woman. If you're a man, you have to bring a woman. If you're a woman, you have to bring a guy. But if you're black, a young black man, they usually just let you in for free. She goes word for word. I quote this lady word for word. You can have sex with all the white women you want.
She's trying to dangle the forbidden fruit.
I was like, okay. She's like, "If you got some black friends, you all can go have sex with all the white women you want."
Bitch, they all as old as you?
I'm going there.
How old was she? Like in her 60s or something? She had gray hair.
Golden Girl.
She was.
Was that Betty White? Do you turn down Betty White?
Hey man, don't get on Betty
She
White.
She was like 40. If I remember, I don't remember her birthday exactly, but like around the year, she was like in her late 40s.
Okay.
But and the only reason I noticed this is because her birthday was close to my birthday, but it was a different year. And I just noticed that when I was looking through her paper, I was like, Wow, that was close, man.
Will was checking it out, trying to see how fresh the
Nah.
pussy was.
She going to oranges. It ain't fresh. It's used and open.
You might have to take. You might get
That's
like,
not true.
You gotta stop on the way to get like a Swiffer or something. Just clean that out.
Get a brittle pad with some Clorox or some.
You know the crazy thing.
Scrape it. I noticed some mold
No,
somewhere.
that's what clean it out afterwards, Jojo. That's for an intense deep clean.
You know what's crazy? I tend to work, even in all my job experiences throughout the years,
Scrubbing bubbles.
I tend to work with a lot of females. And I don't know how it's come to this. You know, I just tend to work. And they always, females, one thing I've learned in the workforce, just cannot refuse talking about their menstrual cycle. Just cannot refuse. It's like mandatory topic of the day. They come in, if one of them is on it, and it's weird, man. Yawn, fun fact, animals yawn to get other animals on the same sleep cycle. And that's when women tend to hang out, they tend to all just cycle on the same week.
Yeah.
So I've heard that, right?
Yeah, I
so
have to.
here's the thing, right? Apparently it's because there's like a certain time span and each one's slightly different. But so like if you ever look at if you're ever at like a red light, look at two different cars and their blinkers are turned on. They're gonna be blinking at different rates, but every now and then they'll sync up.
I hear you saying almost like those.
Fuck you, Tom. I heard that.
I didn't hear that.
But every now and then they'll sync up, and then they'll desync, and then they'll sync up. That's actually what's going on. But you only notice the times where it syncs up because it's like, wow, what a coincidence. And then you discard
What a
all the
coinkydink.
times.
That makes sense.
exactly.
It's almost like those videos with those offbeat dances.
Yeah, 'cause
that tend to sync up to every song.
Kindness. I guess you, not really.
I guess
It's like imagine there's two things flashing. One's flashing at a different rate, but eventually they'll sync up. And then eventually it'll look like, oh, hey, they're in sync, but then they desync, and then they sync again. So it's that's actually what's happening because there's no known mechanism for them actually synchronizing or anything like that.
Long story short, ladies, we don't want to hear about your shit.
We don't.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what they told me? They told at one point in time they told me the other one tends to menstruate, tends to have bigger pads, and I'm thinking bigger pads because her hoo-ha.
Her vagina, her pussy.
Yeah. Just say pussy, man. Just say it.
It's unfiltered, man. Just say pussy.
Not only that.
Say pussy, Will.
Right now. I can't
Say it now.
I can't say that word in conjunction with pads. It doesn't make sense to me.
Pussy pads.
No.
Just say it,
I
Will.
thought
Come on,
maybe
you got it.
her
You can do this, Will.
was exponentially larger in comparison to other women. So I didn't know if she just had like
Boy,
a man.
she got the big pussy. It just be leaking, boy. I hate myself for saying that.
Do you just put your leg in there? You feeling something? Cause this ain't working for me.
See, there's a hot dog down the hallway, Will. Nobody want to be a part of that.
See, that's why I thought, but it just meant heavier flows, and I was thoroughly confused at one point in time. I was like, because she was at one point in time was having trouble having kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it because it's so large?
The air is filling it.
You know,
It all just
sperm
falls
only
out.
survives in there for 3 days. It
She
got
just
a long
falls
way
out
to
when she
swim.
stands up. She just falls out when she stands up.
That's why I thought I was like,
You guys are ignorant. You guys are ignorant.
See, it's got to run a marathon just to get to get up there and fertilize everything.
so like to me it's
See, if she does have kids, they'll be triathletes. Only the strongest sperm.
Nah, Clay. Nah, Clay. I just thought about it. Whenever you come in her, you lift her by her legs and hold her there for about 10 minutes. So
Give her like a little shake every now and then. Make
come on, get down there.
Funnels down in.
It was wild, man. That conversation was real wild. It was disturbing.
Was it half as wild as the one we just had? This has been pretty wild so far.
Yes, because I had it at work and I didn't get in trouble for it. So it was like we were full blown having conversations, and she was looking at me, and I looked at her. She laughed at me, and I was like, "Look, I'm not a woman. I don't know. I don't buy pads. I don't know. If I have a daughter, then I'll learn. Reluctantly.
Ladies, don't buy pads. They're just basically diapers. Shit's gross.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I really care because that's your business, but
Free bleed?
Free bleeding?
Free bleed's not okay.
That's bad.
Free bleed's not
no,
okay.
because then that just turns your panties into diapers. That's not a fix.
You know, I was in high school and there was this girl.
Tampons, Tyme.
She used to have really heavy flows, and she would
I'm just kidding, ladies. I actually just don't give a shit what you do, but
please don't free bleed.
don't
free
just
bleed.
don't
I
free
have
bleed.
nightmares about that.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't give a
Just
damn
don't
what
free
you do.
bleed.
Just don't come near me.
Free bleeding's terrible.
If you do free bleed,
You
we'll put you on the island with the anti-vaxxers. Okay, you can just go over there and free bleed over there. Now, I was informed. I still need to verify this, but I was informed that there is an island that you can buy for $500. Now it's about the size of like.
Yo.
No, wait, hold on. Now, what the fuck is wrong? I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Now it's about the size of Staples. Alleged. I got to check up on this. I know. I know.
I'll buy a whole fucking
Now here's
island
the
right
catch.
If it was real, you
Now here's the
probably would have
catch.
purchased it.
Here's the catch. Well, I haven't had time to look it up. But here's the catch. Okay, back in the 80s, I think it was the British government, some government put a bunch of sheep on there because they wanted to do some tests with bioweapons, and so they dumped a bunch of anthrax on the island.
Is that why it's
Still
$500?
purchase.
But allegedly they cleaned it up. Or
Allegedly.
supposedly they cleaned it up. I don't know how good of a cleanup job they did. This is all back in the 80s, apparently.
I'd throw
$500, you can get Anthrax Island, man. All
I'd
to
throw a
yourself.
fucking
Now-
party on my island.
now here's my
we all
idea.
have hazard suits on.
Little holes to dump the beer in through. No, here's the thing. Here's my thought process, right? We don't actually need to go to the island, right? We just buy the island and then say that all anti-vaxxers are free to go there whenever they want. They can go and have their own colony.
Why
there.
would I want them on my island?
So we
I'm
can
a
test
so
to
that
my
they
see
can-
if the island's clean.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
well, that, and
But then
also
what
so
if
that
they
they'll
stay?
inevitably kill themselves off.
Or if they
Remember,
say,
I talked about
you
it-
kicked them off your fucking island.
Do you remember what I was talking about earlier? I was saying, like, we'll just have, like, a separate place for all the anti-vaxxers to go and have their own little colony or whatever.
Yeah.
We can do that now. If we buy the island, we can give them their own colony.
And we could
But they'll
charge
bring
taxes
disease
and
to our
everything.
island.
It doesn't
we
matter.
were also saying we could set up, like storefronts or whatever. Just
the
like
unfiltered
I'm
island.
gonna sell.
That's
I'm
perfect.
gonna sell them blankets.
Oh, smallpox place. It would be the white man to bring smallpox blankets.
But I'm bringing it to other white people, Will, so it's okay.
Oh no, man! I've seen some of these anti-vaxxers. They've been a little darker than the white people.
Well, they're mostly white, all right.
Yes,
so there.
fair. Because they're only the ones stupid enough to opt out of free health care and get your kids fucking vaccinated.
Free healthcare?
A lot of times,
It's usually in California.
A lot of
That's where
times
most
the
of the anti-vaxxers
vaccinations
are.
are already covered by the med.
Yeah,
Because when you're a
basic
kid,
medical insurance. They're cheap anyways.
yeah, when you're a kid, you inherently come out with insurance.
Oh, yeah, like WIC or whatever.
Yeah, so like your vaccinations are covered.
Yeah.
So it's like
You're just like, no, I don't want this free thing.
It-
It'll save
it's
my child's
fucking
life.
exactly.
Not WIC. That's
I know what you meant. I know
Well,
what you meant.
I just realized we're way off topic.
Yeah.
We were talking about.
What we were talking
All
about?
right,
Customer
more
service?
customer service stories.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the orgy. You turned them down, I assume.
I definitely did.
Will was in there. Will was in there swirling, boy. Just in there.
No, I was not.
I'll be stroking.
No, I don't be stroking. I'm small. My dick's small.
White lady tap Will on
Was her
the
pussy
back.
scratchy?
Just be like, wait your
Ew.
turn.
Was
I
it
stroke it.
scratchy? Was it feel like sandpaper?
I do not know because it's small.
Never mind.
All right, who else has got a customer service story? Or another, if you got another with Will, that works too.
So,
Will's worked a lot of places.
man, I've worked in so many places. I've dealt with so many people. At one point in time, I was working at this fast food place, and I used to work at nights. And this old guy would come by every fucking night around like 3 a.m, and he'd just come in and he's like, "Yeah, Can I get a cheeseburger? Sure, man. $1.08. I have like 17 cents.
Take your ass home.
Sir, it's $1.08. The lady last time gave it to me for 17 cents. Well, sir, I can't give you a cheeseburger for 17 cents.
Maybe if you had a time machine, you go back to the 1950s when that was the fucking price of a cheeseburger.
Fucking right. And so he religiously every time. And I used to work closed a lot. And
He's
then
full of shit.
100%
That's
because I was there all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
was
maybe
giving
last
this
time,
man
no one gave you-
cheeseburgers for 17 fucking cents?
No one gave you a damn cheeseburger.
Well, obviously I was fucking wrong. I was absolutely fucking wrong.
What?
3 months after working at this job, all right, he somehow happened to catch one of the managers, and she's like, "Oh, you here for the cheeseburger?"
No.
And I looked at her. I was like, "You've been giving this man 17-cent cheeseburgers and have been bitching at us for taking like fries." And so I was getting mad about. I was like, "This is wild."
Mad.
This man, all right, this man proceeded. So he left. He came
I'm pretty
back.
sure I know what restaurant you're talking about too. Their fries suck.
Their fries are better than most.
Yeah, all right.
Nah.
They're better than most.
Their
you're
fries
drinking,
gave
they're
me
fine.
the shits.
Well,
Like,
I venture
the
to say it's
hard
because the
shit.
establishment is bad. Like, we had the establishment is poor.
Okay.
I remember
See,
working
Clay,
there.
I see that you hang around a lot of black people, but white people are allergic to seasoning. I
It had
found
nothing
that
to do
out.
with the seasoning.
I found that
It
out.
had nothing to do with the seasoning.
Y'all conquered the world for spice and then don't use it.
Nah.
So-
That's
I use spice.
Nah,
It
so
had everything to do with how much fucking grease was on those things. It was fucking swimming in it.
yeah,
Now,
they
granted,
are
I just-
greasy.
yeah,
they
they
are
are.
greasy.
That's
And
exactly
they probably
what it was.
they didn't change
I
the
already
grease.
have reflux.
It's
so,
bad.
like,
It's bad.
yeah.
But
Oh, that
But
may be
spice
the
doesn't bother
reason
me.
too.
Spice doesn't bother me, but the grease just kills me.
No.
I can't eat pizza.
see,
I don't know if y'all know that. I can't
yeah,
eat
I remember you
pizza.
telling me that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It makes
Clay,
me
I
just
feel
sick.
so sorry for you.
Now there's one pizza I can eat. It's like a New York style pizza place.
Okay,
here in
that's
town.
weird. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best pizza.
Yeah.
But still, I can't, like,
Yeah.
people at Papa John's, I'm like, I'm just going to, like, run.
Is it like the
somewhere
one
else.
without the red sauce and stuff like that?
No, I don't know what the deal is. No, it's New York style pizza. It has all the sauce and everything on it.
It's just they probably don't throw the fake shit in there like other people.
Probably. It's because, I mean, it is,
probably
like, real
Yeah.
ingredients. It's that Johnny's New York style pizza.
Oh, okay, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
theirs is
Man, what are
really
you
good.
talking about, man? Papa John's, real ingredients, real people.
That
Better-
shit makes me- that one's one
Papa
of the
John's
worst.
is butt. I don't really like.
That one's one of the worst ones, too.
Nah, speaking of butt, I have to finish this story.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This man, all right, so he comes up next day. He's like, "Hey, I'm here for that 17-cent cheeseburger," and I got a little upset. And I told him, "Look, man, I'm
throw it in
not
his
giving you
face.
this 17-cent cheeseburger." I was like, "I know my manager's doing it, but I'm not doing it because if I get caught, I'm getting to lose my job." I was like, "So if you keep coming up here and ask for these 17-cent cheeseburger, I'm calling the police." All right, so he leaves. Comes back with a group of niggas.
He was ready to throw hands.
and they all proceeded to moon us.
Now let's skip forward. What happened after you fought them?
So after you shot him, what was the
So they mooned us.
I'd have shot him right.
It was me and this other team member. She was dying laughing at the fact they mooned me. I was so heated. I grabbed hot. I was so mad at the fact that these niggas had the audacity. Like, what kind of fucking
Bend over.
shit? At first I was scared. I was like, oh, there's like 6 of these dudes and they about to come fuck me up. And then they mooned me. And so I'm fucking heated. Because I was like, how fucking dare I be scared of these niggas? And then how fucking dare they moon me? So
You figured out how they got them 17 cheeseburgers in the first place.
I
There's
appreciate.
intimidation right there. Were they standing outside like the drive-through window or something?
Nah, we had a drive-through. We had a walk-up window.
Oh, the walk-up window. So they were just right outside the
They're
walk-up
just
window.
walk-up window, and like cars would drive. Well, granted, it's like 3 at night, so you'll see like 2 or 3 cars every
Yeah.
like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But there's like 6 whole dudes, alright, just bare ass mooning me. And like, I'm talking about not just mooning, like spread cheeks mooning me.
Wow.
There was all in their COVID. I was not happy. I was so fucking mad. I went and grabbed hot fries out the grease and threw it at me. I went and grabbed.
Can you imagine if one of those just like went right up?
If we had a cup that could just scoop hot grease, I would have threw it at them. I swear if we had a cup.
That gives people burns, Will.
I don't fucking
I
care.
think the styrofoam would have survived a little longer towards the window. You actually could have just scooped some stuff.
Just throw the whole thing.
So, but that's not end of it. So I threw these at... Yeah, this continues. Alright, so I threw these at these niggas, alright? They proceed to... They don't really scatter, but they pull their pants up and they kind of scurry away. And my coworker's like...
waddling away. Oh, shit.
My coworker's like dying laughing, like holding her side.
Some help she was, huh?
It's that fucking... I'm sitting here like, I'm fuming. Like, I'm shit you
Well,
not.
it's your fault. You should have gave the man the burger for 17 cents.
I shit you not. I was fuming. I was saying, how fucking dare these guys come over here? Who the fuck comes over here and just... Why that nigga have his ass? I was mad. I was so bad.
I don't know if I would have been able to survive somebody ruining you like that. Well, I don't know how I could have contained my soul in my body after they've moved you like that. It would line up like a firing range.
So,
Time. I'm coming, Dorothy.
I was so mad. Like, I wish you guys could have seen how hot I was. Like, I'm laughing about it now, but at that moment in time, I was angry.
I want you to know, Will, if any of us had been there and your coworker, we'd have laughed at you too.
Yeah.
So these niggas scurry away. All right, an hour rolls past. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I get off in like the next hour or so. All right, these niggas roll back up.
Don't frozen us, will you?
Once wasn't enough.
And these niggas roll back up with a sack, right? Like with it looked like one of those like a plastic bag you get at Walmart, but it looked like a big one. I guess the best way to say it was a white trash bag that looked really thin. Right? And them niggas flung it at the window. Them niggas shit. Collectively in a fucking bag.
You had to fight him now. You had to fight him.
Look, man, at that point in
Yeah,
time,
you can't go out like that. Well, this nigga just threw shit at you. You had to fight him. Will. You had to. Matter of fact, we gotta find out if they still live here. We gotta find out if they still live here. We gonna fight. Will, come on, I'll help you, man. We gotta fight these. We need a name. We need to induct in the new League of Villainy. These niggas.
Well, you quit me.
How many of them were there, you said?
There were 6.
6. Oh my god.
Yo, 6 individual shit in a bag. And fuck in the window.
6. That's what they're because we don't know their names.
So it hits the window. It hits the window. And when it hits the window, the bag kind of broke a little bit as it fell down. So like, here's the window, and there's a platform on the outside.
Oh,
so
no, I know what you're talking about. The
shit all over the platform, and it's like dripping down. And I'm sitting. I shit you not. I had to go to the back. I went to that.
To get a gun?
I sat down.
Get a gun.
No, I sat down and I had to collect myself. I sat down. I crossed my arms. I sat in the stool and I thought to myself, I may have to go fuck somebody.
They have to. You should have.
Oh my God.
At the moment in time, I could have. I couldn't have because
I just come running out the building. I got a fucking gun.
nah, because these are some crazy motherfuckers. One, there were 6 of them. These niggas will plain ass moon me and shit in the bag.
I'll shoot right up their asshole.
They don't
They'll
have.
put a bullet right up in there.
I didn't have
You
a
gonna
gun
moon me?
play. I can't just run up them
Look, man,
screaming I have a gun.
This is why you.
I don't
act
care.
at
I
all
would have been
times.
mad enough. I would have fought all of them niggas, man. I would have just.
Nah, they didn't. Time they were out in the. You think they had toilet paper to wipe after they shit in that bag?
I don't care.
They're just gonna be bare ass.
If shit touched
everywhere.
me, they gotta die. That's just how it
But
is.
shit touched you, man.
Listen,
You're
I
still
would
losing
have
at that
fought
point.
them.
Oh
If
my
shit
God.
touched me, they would have to die.
Well, it will.
All
so they'll
right,
have to
then
die.
I'm killing 6 niggas. That's
All right.
just how it is.
All right, but you
That's
still
how
got
it-
shit on you, Time.
We called the police.
You explain that to the police.
Them niggas didn't believe me.
So it all started a couple months ago.
I had to explain the whole time. And apparently, like,
Oh my fucking!
I ended up leaving that company.
I gotta pee
like,
now.
I'd have left that night, Will.
No, I left like a month and a half later after that happened.
Ooh, we would have been throwing good hands too. Good ones.
The question is, did he come back asking for a cheeseburger for 17 cents? Why did I just do something like Bill Cosby?
I have to regret to inform you that he did come back.
He did.
He did come back and he did ask for a 17-cent cheeseburger.
Did you give it to him?
And
I'd
I
have
gave
thrown
him
it.
a 17
I would have
cent
thrown it at him.
cheeseburger.
Oh, I would have fought him. I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. I was waiting for you.
I couldn't. That mainly it was a combination.
You should have shit on his cheeseburger.
Look, man, I spat in it if it made anyone feel any better. I did spit in it, but
Nah, that's not
Fecal
equal.
matter at you, Will.
I'd
it
have
didn't
shitted.
hit me, and I didn't have to clean it up. All right,
Oh,
mainly
you want a patty?
I would have
a
put the
hamburger
patty
patty.
between my cheeks. I would have just.
The ass nugget.
I'm sorry, sir. It's still cooking.
no, man, but like it made me so fucking mad. I came home that night, like that morning. I went to sleep, and I just had to forget about it. I just couldn't. I couldn't think anymore. About
There's
it.
no forgetting. There's only vengeance.
And
I agree with Tyme. It's only vengeance.
Only vengeance.
like, I mean, look, if I ever see that nigga again now, and this is also back then when I was a little more like meek.
Yeah.
And I wasn't as like, and also I had something to lose at that point in time. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, your dignity, and you lost it. Congratulations.
that was in the bag they threw at me. But
It's gonna be that JoJo cutscene whenever we stomping that nigga out. Just
what up? But I mean, like, cause you guys see now, like, I'll roll up on it. Like
So now
I
we'll
may
see-
mimic that.
Now we'll see a grown man's ass and a grown man's penis.
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I wanted to fight that nigga with you. I don't know if you guys know.
no homo. Also,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I was at a fucking gas station, and this nigga rolled up to me in an electric wheelchair, all right? And he was like, hey, man, can I get some change? And I had my headphones in trying to ignore this man. He taps me on my shoulder. I look at him. He goes, hey, man, can I get some change? I'm like, nah, man, I ain't got no change. His whole fucking dick is out. All right? His whole dick out. All right? I was fucking pissed. Like, fucking irate. All right? I was already
you
tired.
gotta pay for a good show, Will.
Yep.
No. I went fucking home. I told my wife what happened. Because she happened to be home that night. I told Tyme and Jojo what happened. About this nigga that just rolled up on me with his just dick out. And you know, look. I was sitting there thinking to myself, look, all right, I'm going to ignore this man. He's going to leave me alone. I ignored him. He didn't leave me alone. He proceeds to grab my shoulder, and his dick's fucking out.
He
wanted
made
to touch
contact when his dick was out.
Yep.
That's borderline sexual assault, Will.
I feel like I couldn't report that because then that make me gay. And it made me so fucking mad that man like had the fucking audacity to roll up to me. One, ask me for money.
Touch.
And then while in a fucking electric wheelchair, it's not like he's in a wheelchair. He's in the ones that are motorized.
Yeah.
That cost fucking money. He's in an electric wheelchair, then has the audacity to ask me for money and have his whole fucking dick out.
Now, if I was there, then yes, I would have helped you out. The second time you saw him, well, your reaction kind of threw me off. I was on tilt.
See, and that's why I was really expect that these niggas. These niggas, we went and I picked them up. And we were going to my place. This was before I had my house. We were going to my place to hang out. And as we were driving, we drive past these train tracks. And across these train tracks, there's like this walking path. And in the walking path, it goes up the street and so on and so forth. Just for the viewers, just view this. Just imagine this.
Close your eyes.
There's a median. There's a street with two roads going one direction. There's a median, then there's a street with two roads going the other direction. All right, and you cross train tracks in the process, and there's a pathway along the side of the other road. And so what happens is I'm pulling up at the stoplight as soon as I cross the train tracks, and I see that nigga getting pushed by another nigga in a regular wheelchair around the pathway. And this is after I told these niggas what had happened. And I look, hey, there that nigga go.
And that's when I died. That's when I died.
I actually couldn't contain myself.
Yeah.
Ooh, there that nigga go. I was rolling.
It's
like,
only because
rolling.
it's only because like hanging out with Will, like that's either like some funny shit that he'll do because like we wouldn't take him seriously. I ain't never seen you act like that.
The hood in me. These guys don't know I can get hood. I try not to, and that was the one moment where I got real. Hey, get that nigga go! And I was in the process of cutting that fucking median, rolling over to that son bitch, and fucking him up.
Will's gonna beat a man in a wheelchair.
I was gonna fuck him up. I was gonna beat a man. I was gonna fuck that nigga up.
And the only thing is, I didn't really want to help Will fight a guy in a wheelchair and also the guy with him because they both looked homeless. And I don't plan on living a long life, but I don't plan to end my life by getting stabbed by a bum.
See,
I don't want that.
Right, so you all hear that, but he expected me to fight 6 niggas who threw shit at me. Right? These niggas obviously were bums, but he expect me to go and roll up on 6 whole niggas that shit collectively in a fucking bag.
They showed you their asshole, then threw shit at you.
Now, you knew they didn't have a knife because they had to shit in a bag to use that as a weapon. If they had a knife, they would have just used the knife. So you're not going to get stabbed.
They can't stab me through the window. I just don't open it.
They could just been barred.
I'm just, what, actually, now I'm thinking about it. I'm just thankful they didn't, like, come up to the window and I open it and then they toss that big. And
that would have
been. They would have did that shit with.
You have to check yourself into a hospital at that.
Yeah.
I want you guys to know, it's not like a...
check. I probably have AIDS.
It's not a small bag. Like, I know I said, like, Walmart, like, thin bag. It was like a white trash bag. Like, these niggas shat in this for like a couple days, all right? And it was thin, and it was hefty. It was like a large bag. I thought they were throwing like rocks or something, the way that bag was swinging. That nigga threw all his body into it. Pow! And that thing hit the window with a hard pow, like a thud. I was like, oh shit, they're throwing stuff. And I looked... What the? I don't know what it is. I think that's one of the reasons I became so anti-black for a while. I became so anti-black. I just couldn't believe in that. I lost so much faith in the black community. Like, one just reveals a whole dick to me. and then the other one has a collective group of niggas that just when they don't get what they want, they moon people and they shit in fucking bags
and throw that at people.
Not to be racist, but them niggas did something monkeys would do.
They do own a moral victory over you, man. He threw the shit at you. Bet you give me my cheeseburger now. That's the
He was right. He did.
I'm not gonna deny the fact I gave that man his cheeseburger after that. I'm not gonna deny.
Will
it.
didn't want to figure out what
More
happened
shit
next.
thrown at him.
That's what it is.
I can't really blame you for that.
I didn't want it to happen. Look.
This is several years ago too. I think me of several years ago would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
We're about the same age. Just been like, I'm just gonna give that.
I would have went
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Whip that nigga's ass.
Nah, fuck these niggas.
Yeah.
They say they would have whooped his ass. They niggas wouldn't help me roll up on a nigga
It's
with a
because of
wheelchair.
the way you said it.
Them niggas would not help me roll up on a nigga in a wheelchair.
That's different.
If you would,
It's a nigga in a wheelchair.
I don't
Who
give
wants to
a
fight
damn.
somebody in a
I
wheelchair?
Who
don't
shit?
give a damn.
who shit?
I
Tom,
don't
you
give
shit.
a damn.
It would have been
hate you.
easy.
I would have fucked
Oh my god.
that nigga up.
Oh god.
I wish the audience
Well,
could smell
that
this.
yeah. You can smell a vision in here. All right, I think it's probably about time for the break.
Yeah, man.
So-
you ruined it.
We got some really good customer service stories. If we get some more coming in, we'll actually.
I have a bunch of them too. I just let Will tell his.
Oh shit! Okay.
We could do ours
right,
another. We could just have this as a segment.
Yeah,
We're
we're gonna
just
do that. For
customer
sure.
service. Y'all hear mine
Yeah.
next week.
We don't want to blow our customer service horror stories load right now. So, all right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and cut to a short break, and we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the Unfiltered Podcast, do us a favor by liking the video and click that subscribe button for more content without the filter. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our shows, send an email to wetheunfiltered@gmail.com with the subject line guest and include your name, some basic information about yourself, your background, and one or more things that people find interesting about you.
All right, welcome back to the Unfiltered Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back.
I eat hot wings and it's really spicy.
I'm still here, but I've been emitting gas towards these people.
I
We had
fucking
to run
hate
away
you for
earlier.
that.
I had to get up from the table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
like
bad.
physically remove myself from the situation.
You need to go check yourself. That's
Man, you
I
can't
don't
just
think
be
hot
shitting like
wings is the
that.
first thing that you're supposed to eat all day.
Hey, stomach, you had nothing in you all day. How about just
Fuck me up, fam.
let me get some atomic wings in there. All right, we're gonna start off with the unfiltered news segment, and Jojo is actually here to tell us about
I
the Democrats campaigning to legalize prostitution.
hear that? You hear that? That's paper. That's notes.
Did
First
Jojo
time
took
I ever
notes.
did this.
Jojo took notes
Jojo
on
didn't
the
even
back.
take notes in school.
I did.
He took
Just
notes
like
on the
this
back.
too. They look just like this. All chaos.
He took notes on the back of his medical forms.
Yes, I didn't have
So-
paper in my room.
Yeah, so he just
It
grabbed
was
his
either
medical
that or
forms.
envelopes.
And then Jojo ate too much salt today, so his arm was hurting and shit. And he was like, I forgot I couldn't have salt.
Check his
And
medical records.
if only there was something that remind him. If only. But anyways, Jojo, I'm sorry. Go ahead and tell us about the campaign to
All right,
legalize prostitution.
In 2020, there's going to be a few Democratic campaigns. There's going to be John Hicklooper.
He's not winning.
I can't pronounce them.
With a name like that, you're not winning. I'm sorry.
Kamala Harris. That's the only two I got because these guys picked me up
Okay.
a little too early.
That's okay.
Half of this research is literally like the history of prostitution.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
I'm down for that.
are these people like advocating for prostitution?
They're for it. They're like we need it needs to be legal.
Okay.
We need to regulate it so it can actually be safe because forced sex trade can be a thing.
Yeah, it's actually a big problem, like trafficking and so on. So,
Yeah.
so then is this part of like their campaign? Like part of what are they running for? What office?
President.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't know? Yeah, Kamala Harris is. I know she's in the presidential race.
Yeah.
I heard of her, but I just assumed she was a joke.
I just assumed the entire Democratic primary was a joke.
I did too. All I heard was Bernie Sanders and that possibly, criminal Clinton was going to run again.
No, yeah. She should be in jail, man. That would have been wild.
What do you guys think about legalizing prostitution in America?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's my thing: if you're gonna, prostitution's illegal unless you film it, then it's legal. So that makes no sense. So if you're gonna do that, you might as well just make prostitution legal. Just regulate, tax it, all that.
I strongly agree that it's an avenue of income that we can have, and like when you make stuff like that illegal, you make it harder. People are going to do it. People are going to do it regardless. Yeah. It's a great form of
it's the world's oldest profession.
Yes.
Yeah,
from BC era.
Yeah, exactly. You think people are just going to stop doing it? No.
And the thing is like when like let's talk about like Backpage. When Backpage had that big thing, its takedown, right? When Backpage had its takedown, it made prostitution a dangerous again. Women were safer online, like advertising themselves as opposed to meeting people in public. And so that's what's happened now is that like we've gotten to a situation in where you're gonna have prostitution, but now it's more dangerous and you're gonna have. I don't want to arrest someone for being a prostitute who's trying to feed their kids after she's been raped.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. I don't know. If we're gonna this is the thing. Like I don't think it's fair that we're regulating these women's bodies so heavily.
Yeah.
Personally.
Now, I don't personally care for prostitution, but it's not like it's not my body or whatever the fuck they want to do with it. If they want to sell themselves, then whatever, man. That's their
Problem.
Yeah, man. But
wow, why is Jojo correcting people's words?
Uh-huh.
He's absorbed the smart.
I believe in him.
It's like that. It's like in fucking Space Jam. He stole the talent.
Wish I can do that with Dragon Ball Fighters.
You'll get there, man.
But yeah, man, like I was actually doing like hard research, and like this one lady even said prostitution actually protects respected women. It gives men an outlet for their uncontrollable sexual desires.
Yeah, I agree.
That's fair.
I agree. You solve two problems. One, like let's say in like countries like Amsterdam and so on and so forth, they're not saying if you let prostitution happen, I'm not saying rape will decrease, but it's proven that their violent sex crimes is significantly less than most countries.
So I just want to point out really quick that Amsterdam is not.
It's not a country.
It's a city.
Me.
It's the capital of the
You
Netherlands.
actually have the country.
I'm just saying for everyone else, it's the capital of the Netherlands. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Also,
Jojo's got the country. Damn, Jojo did a lot of
Research.
New
Also-
Zealand. Oh, go ahead.
Also, I think like with the legalization of prostitution, it does bring some challenges though. Like we were talking earlier about like the random, like the sex trade, like whenever we were talking about the K-pop or whatever, and they were involved in sex trades. Now you could have a legitimate brothel business and then have a bunch of sex slaves in there. They wouldn't be able to.
That's what we were saying. If you regulate it,
because
you have to actually be registered and everything like that. And
Yeah,
if you have to register someone, you got to take them to a government office.
Austria does that.
If you take them, so there you go. If you got to take them to a government office, I mean,
And
there's their chance to talk to the police right there.
And not only are they registered, they have to have tests. I think it's like weekly.
Yeah,
It is periodically.
Periodic.
Yeah.
So it's usually weekly. They have to have the test. It's almost like this, and I guess the best way to put it.
They also get to like set their own clients and stuff too.
Exactly.
Like, they can be like, okay, this guy looks like a
Yeah,
piece
and there's
of
no
shit.
pimps.
I'm not gonna
That's
that's exactly what I'm saying. They handle it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
If anything, it's empowering.
I think so too. It's almost like, let's think of it like this. I think if we're gonna allow women to use their bodies to advertise, they should be allowed to use their bodies to whatever which way. Yeah. If they're gonna use, if we're because we take sex and we sell it, right? Why are we able to take sex and sell it, but they're not able to?
As Will was saying,
they're not literally selling sex, but I get what you're saying too. Yeah.
They're selling their hoo-ha, as Will would say.
I only say hoo-ha when it's referring to menstrual cycles.
That's still very weird coming out of the man. Like I've only up until today, I've only heard hoo-ha from females.
But the only reason why John wants to legalize it is because he actually went and saw these girls from a sex trade and how they were raped, beaten, whatever. He was like, man, we need to regulate this. Yeah. We need to do something about this. It's bad.
Yeah, I agree.
They seen them raped and beaten. It was like, ooh, I need to get in on this money.
Well, and I think it also opened like at one point, I don't know if you guys are aware, but at one point in time, like Rhode Island accidentally had prostitution legalized.
How you accidentally legalize prostitution? So speak more.
So what had happened? I think it was in 2015.
Oh, is that recent?
2015,
wow.
it got fixed. It took 2015. It got fixed. It got fixed.
Okay.
But it happened back in I think it was like 19. It was like in the 1950s, 1960s.
Jesus.
And what happened was prostitution. They had such strict laws on sex that if you had consensual sex with someone, you could go to jail if you weren't married. So, in order for them,
side niggas, watch out.
Yeah, and in order for them to loosen up the restrictions on like sex and so on and so forth, they rewrote it. Mm-hmm. When they rewrote it, they were talking about like street prostitution, so on and so forth. You can't do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't talk about in-house prostitution, and so when they put the laws in place, they didn't include in-house prostitution, and so massage parlors could actually be prostitutes, and you could actually get hand jobs and like a happy ending. And all kinds of stuff.
Happy ending? You want happy ending?
It became such a problem, so it became a problem. One of the lawyers brought it to their attention, and they just glossed over it. They ignored him, right? Mm-hmm. I think in 1980, it became a huge problem because multiple massage parlors were being like not raided, but they were coming in like this is so on and so forth, and they couldn't arrest them because it wasn't illegal. So what they would do is they come in and arrest the people. They would not arrest. They would find the people that didn't have a massage license. So if you weren't a licensed masseuse,
you become a licensed masseuse. Congratulations, you're certified at sucking dick now.
And it was wild, man. So after that, so what happened was the place got raided. All these people were charged with these counts. They had to throw it out. And after they threw it out, they changed it. Nope.
Fool me once.
So that was a point in time where Rhode Island had legal prostitution.
That is amazing.
Is it cool for me to drop my gamer tag for my PS4? For PSN?
Only if you want to.
Okay, cool. But the only reason why I felt entitled to do this and wake up at 10 o'clock and do all this research is because my name is For The Host 290. Now I have to create a new account For The Host 2020.
Jojo's running for president. That's his candidacy right there. He's put it through his hat into the ring.
His vice president's gonna be just a brick.
No, it's gonna be a blind dog.
A blind dog. Watch out, Peter's gonna steal it.
Come on, Peter, you leave my dog alone.
Ingrid Newkirk's coming for your dog.
I'm definitely gonna be Jojo's running mate. They'll never kill him because if they kill him, I'm blowing up the world.
Yeah, it'd be that's the best default. This guy's
give Tyme the nuclear codes, please.
Yeah,
Jojo and Tyme.
This guy's gonna do his best to make right with the world. If you don't like it and you kill him, the other guy's blowing it up. What a fail-safe. What a fail-safe.
If you deal with me or you get the nuclear option.
Deal with me or I hope you're a doomsday prepper.
So what else did you find out about this?
About the history, because this is a lot of history.
Yeah, man. Let's start with the history.
All right.
You hear those papers rustling?
Did you know that biblically, an ancestor of Jesus was a prostitute?
We'll come to that later.
Well, also Mary was too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mary was a prostitute, and the
that don't sound right.
I'm just not right.
Mary Magdalene, yeah, she was a prostitute.
Not the Mary with your.
Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene was.
I was like,
yeah,
not the Virgin Mary.
I was like, well, we about to get that
it would make no sense for the Virgin Mary to be a prostitute. She is a virgin.
That's exactly. I was just like, huh?
She did all anal. There's a porn star. Look her up. There's a porn star out there that only does anal. Never did it in the pussy. She's a virgin.
Good to know.
That is
the more you know.
But
that has nothing to do with the Bible. Don't listen to
it. In the Bible, honestly, in the Bible, there is a point in time where I can't remember the name of the two guys that they came to this village, this town, and they were told to warn the people that God was going to destroy it. It wasn't Sodom and Gomorrah; it was another one.
Okay.
And when he told them that God was going to destroy it, he told the people there they don't want to listen to him. They actually went to try to find these people, run them out, and kill them. A prostitute took them in to her home and snuck them out. And when she, in the process of her sneaking them out, he told those two, the followers, told her of what was coming to the city.
It's the story of Jericho.
Was it Jericho?
Yep.
Yeah. I think, yeah. And so she left, and when
she was going to look them in the walls or whatever.
And when she left the city, when she left town, and if you follow her lineage, she does lead to the she's, I guess the most. I'm not going to say the most exact one, but she's like the great grandmother of like Jesus, like great grandmother of Jesus.
Yeah, Richard Carrier actually makes a pretty good case for Jesus having never existed. But
we'll
get to that later. I was just saying for everyone's information. But let's get back to Jojo.
Based off the book that was told.
Right, yeah.
I hate y'all niggas.
Anyways, go ahead, Jojo. Let's start with what's like the oldest history you got?
The oldest history I got. All right, so Socrates, he actually heard about this prostitute that was in this open, like openly brothel or whatever, where you can just see. Basically, they said where you can see the product and test it out.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I must see something so beautiful. Boobs like titties so round. This is mine. It turned out, I don't know, quote unquote, what he said. It was early, but like he actually went there, and started doing poems about naked women and fucking.
You know, I like Socrates, and now I know
why. I'm surprised it wasn't Diogenes that went there.
Also,
over in the corner.
Diogenes, that man would have been crusty and jerking off.
You just in the corner.
Why would I pay for that when I can do this?
Plato and Socrates weren't in the same.
No, I know.
Oh, I was like, I didn't think about it for a second.
Time he didn't go during his own time.
Oh, fair enough.
Just sitting in the corner, just.
But yeah, like prostitution originally started in ancient Greece by women, because they had the simple logic: you're sitting on a gold mine, go do something with it.
This is all. I mean, that's a fact, kind of.
Also,
that is fair. That is fair.
It's very true.
Free market capitalism.
Yeah, if men will pay you money for it, and you're cool with doing it, why? I don't understand why anyone should stop you.
I don't believe in giving hoes money.
Yes, you do.
I don't either. I'm not going to give them my money.
You pay bills, don't you?
Money, that's fine.
That's not giving hoes.
I'm just going to report them to the IRS if they don't pay their taxes.
Yep.
Hashtag
all those
patrol.
Premium snaps.
Hashtag Thought Patrol.
That
whole is taxes, man.
But yeah, the countries, they're like France, Greece, Germany, Ecuador.
I didn't even realize Ecuador.
Oh.
In Spain?
Yeah. Actually, Ecuador. Every related to sex work is legal here. You can sell your body, run a brothel, or be a pimp.
You know, that's crazy. Like in Ecuador,
I'm gonna get me a fly ass Cadillac. And
that made me think of Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, when he went over to Europe. Have y'all seen that movie?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, it is.
I think there's one line from it though where he's like, did you know the Dutch invented chicken and waffles? Is that from that movie?
Yeah.
And he's like, they started the slave trade. He's like, motherfucker.
Motherfucker. that and the pimp, because if you've seen the first one, the pimp is caught multiple times. Like, he's like, so there's this pimp, this gigolo who's like the epitome of male gigolo. And apparently he has like a large schlong, and he's like, I need to see what it looked like, because the guy ends up dying. And he's like, I'm going to throw his body in the river, right? Before he throws his body, I got to find out. I just got to know what he's working with. And he unzips his pants, looks, damn. And then this barge pulls by with a light flashing. And now you see a gay pimp throwing a body into the river.
That was my favorite part about it.
I'm not gay. The whole movie, he didn't even care about the fact that he was like being like accused of killing someone.
Right.
I'm not gay.
They just called him the gay pimp. At one point, his disguises were wild. At one point in time, this man had so he comes by. He's like, "Hey man, you're not in disguise." He goes, "Yeah, I am. I'm blackface." He put darker makeup on his skin complexion was a shade darker. I'm blackface. Shows ignorant.
Oh, and also up until 2014, Canada was also smiling at prostitutes.
So they in 2014 it's illegal.
You know, why would you go back to making it illegal?
Because they're also making hate crimes, like hate speech, illegal.
That's fair.
These guys are regressing.
They are regressing. This is proof. Even if you're on the left, this is proof that they're regressing. They rebanned prostitution, which is like apparently the talking point in this country.
It's female empowerment. You're just letting her do what the fuck she wants with her body. If you're gonna be,
and you're also like, to be fair, you are also legalizing male prostitutes. But like, how are you gonna make a living doing that?
You know, I have a funny story of my mother-in-law.
Yeah, the chick's gonna be so ugly that you're not gonna be able to get it up. So you might as well just not be a male prostitute. I'm sorry.
No, I have a funny story about my mother-in-law when she went to France with her husband.
Yeah,
and the guy grabbed her, not like grabbed her, but not like aggressively grabbed her, and he starts this and that. And my father-in-law almost beat the dog shit out of her. Whoa. And she's like, no. He's just a prostitute. He's trying to solicit so on and so forth. And so then they walked away. And the guy was like, first he was like, I'm making advances towards her. And then he was like, oh, I'm about to this. And then the guy saw the other guy, saw him getting aggressive. And he's like, no. And he starts like circling all three of them, like making all. I was like,
wow.
Speaking of male prostitution, is illegal in Bangladesh.
You know,
male prostitution specifically, you said?
Yes.
That's probably because there's a bunch of guys that dress like fucking women over there.
Thailand.
Fucking Philippines too.
That'll be weird. It's like you just grab a girl by the arm. Hey, baby, you want some dick?
Yeah.
I was talking about the fridge prostitute. You just grabbed your brother. Hey, baby, you want some dick? That'll be $20.
I know if I was a male
guys,
prostitute,
we could be charging females for it. Yeah, we don't.
I'd be cheap. I almost make it $10. I don't know. I don't know, man. Life is hard.
Well, you better respect yourself.
Give me a beer.
I want at least $1 a minute.
$1 a minute.
Yeah, that's cheaper than the phone sex lines. This is a steal at that point.
That's very fair.
Give me a bottle of Jaeger. I give you the best Dickens.
I wouldn't. But I'm also small. The only Dickens I could give you is Charles Dickens.
Oh, did you know in Brazil it is okay to prostitute yourself?
You could slap her around and it'll hurt like the Dickens.
But you'll get busted if you're pimping.
So it's okay to prostitute, but you can't be a pimp.
Yeah. They frown upon Snoop Dogg.
Hey. All right.
I mean, that's fair. I think that's actually very fair.
That's pretty fair, yeah.
It's like, okay, we're gonna let women do it, but if you're gonna sit there and try to regulate women doing it, no.
Yeah, because women started it.
That makes sense. I mean, that's fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like just
We're the government. We're the only pimps.
Yeah, that's them basically.
Yeah, just like
they don't
Will
want
said,
muscling in on their territory.
No competition.
Yeah.
Just like Will said earlier to me, women sell their body for sex. We sell our body for working.
Yeah, men
true.
tend to sell their bodies for labor,
Yeah.
and that's and you can already see that when it comes to like the jobs that we do. We tend to do very high risk jobs when it comes to.
Oh yeah, the gender gap in the workplace death toll is 97% male, 3% female.
Oh, that's great to fucking know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, women are oppressed. Will
know what?
Don't you know? 3% of women that work hard jobs die. Will 3%.
Were they typing too hard?
The other day I was
carpal tunnel. No.
See, I think some of them might have big pussies and they just bleed out.
Wow. Wow.
You guys are ignorant.
That shit just flows out. Oh my God.
That's what I really thought, guys. I really honestly thought I was sitting there thinking to myself, is it like wide or is it like long? Does it?
This is deeper in there.
That's dumb as hell, Will. You got a wife. How come you
look? All right. Let me explain.
Will's the one that's married and he doesn't know how that shit works.
No. Let me explain. All right. So at one point in time, I was in middle school. All right.
So, yes.
But you grew up though.
No. I was in middle school and I was in health class. All right.
Okay.
For shizzle.
And we're all sitting down, and I was in a I'm gonna say, go ahead, white middle school. I was in
White.
What do they call
Colonizers.
it? What do they call it at that point in time? If you're in not an accelerated, but gifted. I was in a gifted middle school, and so while I was in middle school, we had free time. And so me and this other guy who happened to be the only other black guy in the fucking class, possibly like
birds of a feather?
We're sitting down, we're talking, and we made the joke about, big dicks and so on and so forth. And we're amongst like a bunch of women with us, right? Because they all wanted to hang out. We all sat and talked. And
you're with a bunch of middle school girls.
Yeah, middle school girls, not women. Excuse me.
They're not mature.
And one of them proceeds to go, well, why do men always talk about how big their dicks are? Women don't go around talking about how big their hoo-haws are. And
see, he did it again.
Hoo-ha.
See, hoo-ha count
That's
4.
gotta go in the title too, maybe.
And and so in my mind, that's been instilled in my brain. So now I have this. I haven't been going around fucking everything that moved.
You could just look. Bitch, you got a wide pussy.
Am I supposed to just go up to every female? Ma'am, this is for science.
Yes.
Just hold out a ruler. We just put that.
It's like a dildo with like inches. This bitch can take about that much. Just pull it out.
You enjoying this?
You gotta pull that shit out like you're starting a lawnmower. Once you get it up in
there. You made me think of work, man. I hate you for that.
But that shit that stuck with me. So
But the conclusion from that is not. She was just making a dumbass point because she was in middle school. The conclusion from that is not that like, hey, all of our sizes vary. Which the fact that they don't, I mean, it varies based on like their body size, like how big their actual body is. But other than that, not really.
But it was something that made me wonder, and so I didn't have sex with a lot of women or whatever whatnot, So you know, me personally, and I didn't go down there examining like.
Let me just part the waters here. No.
This one, and you know, it's like, I know
I have something very bad in my history. I need to delete my cookies. And,
but
I did research for a little.
Okay.
But like I said, you know, and also like between partners, I didn't have. There was downtime, so it's not like I was just going into the other one. This feels a little bit
looser,
you know. Whatever, whatnot.
We're way off topic.
Yeah,
let's go back to the prostitution. we were starting to get into like
Do prostitutes with big hoo-has make more money?
I'm mad. I actually looked that up.
Oh, did you look that up?
Yes.
What? You looked up. What did you Google? Big hoo-has?
Wide pussy.
Wide.
Yes.
Wide.
So I was correct.
I think they stretched it out. Let's
Rule 13.
Denmark.
Fuck you.
Okay,
guys.
Denmark is okay with prostitution. They even help out disabled people get laid.
I remember.
I'm not even.
I remember we had a friend that we used to hang around his granddad's house. Basically, he was taking care of his granddad, and he lived there, and we just come over there and hang out. So it was a while ago, a couple years ago, and I remember his granddad used to basically have a service come for him to get laid or whatever. Also, there's one night we were just sitting around playing spades.
Are they prescribing pussy?
I don't know exactly. I think it was just something between there's people. They're willing disabled people who wanted to have sex.
Okay.
And they just matched them up together and they would have sex.
Slow Tinder.
So my question is, did they save the ugly ones for the blind people?
I don't know. Fortunately, I
You
wasn't
go over there.
around.
He's got
I feel like
sunglasses
you
on.
could feel that.
It depends on how ugly.
Now, we were all sitting around the table playing cards or whatever.
Put Braille on her face.
And his granddad, I think it was spray. It was
some acne.
It was some effect from a war that he had, and he was not all the way there. And one night he just came in the kitchen where we were playing spades. This man comes in, slaps the table. I say we get some pussy.
He sounds like the right state of mind to me.
Yeah, that man was functioning perfectly fine. Why did you want to?
Yep.
Why'd you want to hamper him, man?
Speaking of disabled sex, for some reason I always wanted to hear two deaf people have sex. I just need to hear the noises the niggas will make.
You know, one thing I've learned. I used to sit here and wonder why, like,
I can make fun of deaf people because they're not listening.
Yeah. Please disable the captions.
You gotta have those typed in. They ain't no one doing that.
I used to wonder what deaf people like sounded like, and like to me, it didn't make sense to me for periods of times for me not to know like for them not to understand sound until like I read this one book. I can't remember what its name, but this lady, I can explain deafness to you. It's like you just can't hear fucking shit. like there's levels of deafness. Like some people can actually like even deaf people can feel the vibrations at some point, and it still creates some level of low tones. Yeah. And so what happens is a lot of times they either hear really, really low tones or they don't. It's weird. So like when I read that, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't hear anything," and I'm like, "But how is vibration?" Because Beethoven went deaf at one point in time.
She a bat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who? Is she a bat?
Yeah.
Bats hear. Well, bats see through sonar,
Yeah.
and so like that's
Sound.
different. That's different. You know, this
It's
so
sound.
yeah.
It's echolocation.
But bats can hear.
That's what. Yeah, they can definitely hear.
But that was one thing that always blew my mind. I used to think deaf people were lying.
Just like the Mexicans, I mean, no speaking English. That's my favorite one.
Like, for a while, I really used to think deaf people were fucking liars. And like, oh, I'm deaf. You do realize you just fucking said that to me, you deaf son of a bitch.
Who else gonna find a deaf
That's
person?
big,
I've actually went on YouTube and I just saw a video of like hood deaf niggas and females like getting into fights and arguing with each other.
Oh,
That
they're
shit-
hand signing each other?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever put that Naruto music in the background.
Jojo, suck.
That's wild. But like, go ahead, continue with the prostitution. Let's get off.
Yeah.
deaf people.
What else we got, Jojo?
I'm a little dead after the death.
I'm serious. I don't mean any. Look, I don't mean anything to people who have loved ones that are deaf. But like, I honestly thought you guys were lying.
It's not like they can hear us, Will.
Will's old beliefs are ignorant.
Yeah, man. Look,
Yeah.
look.
I don't know, man.
I was like, I guess how the best. I was exploring the world, and so
You
everyone
deserve to have shit thrown at you, Will.
I did not deserve that.
You said deaf people were liars.
They were, in my opinion. At that point in time, it just didn't make sense to me. Like how blind people, you know, some blind people can still see like forms of light. They still see like
outlines or something.
yeah. So me, in my eyes, I used to think them niggas were lying too. Yeah, there was a lot. Look, all right, look. I'm gonna be honest. I need to explain myself before this gets out of control.
We're getting off topic.
I am sorry, but my old me used to think disabilities were just like people lying about handicaps that they had. And like, if you were blind, you couldn't see fucking shit. There's no level of blind. It's like, oh, my eyesight's bad. That's just what it was. You're either blind or your eyesight's bad. There was no middle ground for me. And so my apologies. I do understand there's levels to deaf and blind. There we go.
So don't add us.
Yeah.
Right.
Also in Austria, they actually pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You can be 19 or older.
Okay.
And also, despite this, there are a lot of smuggling, but we ain't really worried about that. We worried about
Well, there's
legalization.
always going to be some level of illegality.
I was gonna say it's already going on.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's still going on at some level isn't surprising. It's whether or not it's lower.
Yeah.
Which I'd imagine it is because you just took away a huge market share.
Exactly.
It's like, why would I get this illegal one when I can go get a legal one that's getting, tested for STDs and shit like that? That'd be way better.
You know, they even have websites where people buy people's virginities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
One woman she sold her virginity for I think it was $26.5 million. Sold her virginity.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, ain't no way.
I'm selling, not selling, but like I'm buying a virginity for that much money.
Hell no.
Like,
I haven't had sex in 4 years, so
Why would you pay that much
Am
for
I a
you?
virgin now? So can I sell my virginity?
You can sell your butt virginity.
No, Ma.
I thought you was trying to get paid, Jojo.
That's what we're gonna do if the podcast doesn't take off. We're gonna sell JoJo's.
Nope. Nope. This podcast better fucking take off.
Look, you just gotta take one for the team, JoJo.
Nope.
You gotta take one for the team, like the sucking dick guy from the.
I know. I know 6 bums that know how to flash people real well.
Nope. Nope.
All right, what else you got, man?
That's all I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
That was pretty good, though.
It was like I was like
Bravo.
from 10 to like 12 o'clock.
Hey,
Bravo.
that's pretty good.
And I was
for a story. So that's good shit. Man.
I was actually sitting there just listening to YouTube. I had YouTube on. I had my phone on YouTube because I was listening about something about the French War. It had something to do about prostitution. Not really. It was something small. Yeah. And I was like writing down subtitles. Here we go. Can't spell half of this shit.
Thank you, subtitles. Now I know how to properly spell this.
And now that I was reading my notes, I may need to work on my handwriting. Let me put this away.
Don't cheat off my work.
Because you did a lot of research. So, yep.
It's bad, ain't it?
No. I mean, I can actually read it. This is better than my handwriting, if you can believe that.
I had deja vu at that time. I feel like somebody already said that.
Man, I just think in general.
Oh, here we go. So you wrote that the earliest written accounts of prostitution come from Mesopotamia, which is like pre-ancient Greece. Yeah, that's old.
That's like that's like second civilization.
Yeah,
that's second civilization. First civilization was fuck. You guys know, don't at me. It was second civilization though.
And they had you wrote that they had special religious status and were closely associated with Amane,
the goddess of fertility.
Yeah, fertility. Yeah,
it's a Hindi god.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is all in the West.
That's weird.
East,
Western. Thought it was Western.
West is where
Samaria is kind of like the Middle East.
Oh, okay.
Or Samaria, yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Mesopotamia and all that? That's
yeah,
all
Middle East.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midwest. I know Middle East.
That's
yes.
weird.
The Midwest is where all the farms.
That'd be
corn
horrible. Like prostitutes worship the god of fertility. That's the last person you want to get pregnant.
No, they worship prostitutes.
Oh,
yeah.
As closely to the gods of fertility.
Yeah.
But that's the last person you want to get pregnant.
And then also they were in the hero in the story
Gilgamesh.
In Gilgamesh, thank you.
Yeah,
Gilgamesh.
Yeah. Also, like if you ever watch there's this anime I definitely suggest you watch called Gate.
Okay.
But
yes.
There's a one point in anime where because this is a point to what Tyme was saying about that's the last person you want to get pregnant. Women back then would give birth to these kids, and these kids would go up to adoption orphanages and so on. So that's how these like old day orphanages began.
Yeah.
These kids will also be sold into the military and so on and so forth. So what would happen is that they would I would assume based off of Joe's work is that they would pay respects to these people as gods as disciples of the goddess of fertility. Mm-hmm. She would then provide these potential militia and whatever these people would grow up to be, and then go back to work again. So I guess that was the aspect of why they were worshipped or they were revered.
Oh, so nobody got the separate responsibility for the kids. So it's just
they did the military.
Mm-hmm.
Military that they got sold into unwillingly. That's horrible.
That's pretty
we don't know if it was unwilling. We don't. They were babies.
Yeah.
Did they will?
Picture a baby there with like holding a spear. It's like they just hand him a spear. Here, go do stuff.
Oh, speaking of this, a little tidbit.
They got all the babies. Like, what are we gonna do with these? You see some dude run around with like just baby strapped to him like armor,
like baby shields,
baby armor.
You wouldn't stab this.
Even if you do, it's not gonna go through all this fat.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But yeah, like
just
a little
pinch
tidbit.
the baby and have it screaming somewhere. Misdirection. You just crossfire.
That's ignorant.
But yeah, like a little tidbit about ancient Greece with prostitution, they would actually hold games where the winner would get to take anybody home for the night.
That sounds like that one
like
video I told you guys about where they would.
Nobody was married.
I am not listening this foolishness again. No.
Because
there's this one video I had to start laughing. It was abhorrent. I died laughing. I just
40s and
it was like it was something where a guy They would. It started where they would have a rap battle.
Yeah.
And whoever won the rap battle get to fuck the girl, and they got a 40 ounce.
Yep.
That's so damn ignorant.
I was dying laughing, man. I was the girl wasn't even really like attractive or anything like that. It was just a round the way chick. Just
Oh,
I was dying. I was like, you know what? That's enough for today.
But yeah,
I
Clay
think
said,
it was like battle raps for Bubbles.
yeah, battle raps for Bubbles.
Bubbles
I looked
in
it up.
40s or something like
all
that.
right, look that up, everyone. Battle raps for Bubbles.
I looked that up.
That's
So you were
ignorant.
saying about ancient Greece?
Yeah,
They were
the people that did dwell into the prostitution domain, they were single because they was like, I'm not going to get married. I can just have sex with this young lady and just be over with. Sex done.
that is fair.
There's no incentive to get married. You get the companionship that you're looking for, the sexual companionship. And a lot of times, most cases, that when people seek like companionship, it's either if you have
Ladies,
a good friend.
I do.
Well, if you seek companionship, a lot of times if you have a good friend and a fuck buddy, you're good.
For a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the basic necessities.
Yeah, Tyme, tell us all about that.
Up until a certain
Up until
point.
you get like, you start getting pretty old, and then you're like, shit, I wasted my whole life.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any kids.
Yeah.
I
guess
You know, you're in a nursing home. There's no one to take care of you.
Nah, man, that's when you just off yourself.
That's just a bad way to live.
It's gonna be in my will that if I'm ever put in like a nursing home or in a vegetative state, just pull me out the backyard and put me down like old Yeller.
Best
That's
believe
100% what's gonna happen.
I am skydiving.
'Cause if y'all
and
don't, I'm gonna
cutting
fucking
the
haunt your
bag.
asses.
That's what I'm
Cutting the bag.
Will is going to quickly regret that.
The whole
He's
way
gonna
down there.
live like Peggy Hill.
Nah,
Will's
man.
gonna live
I'm
like
gonna make
Peggy
sure I
Hill.
land head first.
Oh yeah!
I'm gonna be like diving. Woo! It bow.
Will
Leave like I came, head first.
Will is like quickly
Will's
going to
be
regret
stuck down
that.
in the ground, just legs sticking out.
Like a cartoon.
Yeah. It'd be a Will-shaped hole in the ground.
Whenever Will does that, he gonna see a plane. What the fuck, Jojo? I'm trying to kill myself. No, I can't let it happen. Dragon Ball still out. Can't let it happen.
You know, now you said something about Dragon Ball. You know, I watched a video recently about the how Dragon Ball Evolution was so bad that the person recently, 2016, wrote an actual apology for making that movie. Did you know what me and Tyme also found out?
What?
That if it wasn't for Dragon Ball
Yes.
Evolution, Dragon Ball Super would not have been made.
I heard that in the background.
Really?
Yeah.
How's
So Akira Toriyama was so mad at how they did that movie that he came out of retirement and made Battle of the Gods. And so the Battle of the Gods then led into Super, which then led into and continued it on.
Right.
So thank you, Evolution, for giving us Super.
That's the only right thing they did.
Sometimes it's
Man,
dark,
you
it's
didn't
just
see
before
that
dawn.
episode. You didn't see that place where Goku was sliding across the car
That
hood.
nigga's mic.
I never watched that movie because I heard all the bad reviews.
Good.
Yeah.
You were saying.
You're missing
I even
out.
saw it on TV one time. I was like, I started to go towards it, and I was like,
You're missing out. Watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
No.
Watch Street Fighters.
Oh hell
Watch
no! Fuck
Oh God, Street Fighter.
Ass.
Watch the Chung Li one.
No,
Nah,
Which one? The second one or the first one?
all of them. Both of them.
Watch both of them.
No, don't watch both of them.
Both
Yeah,
of them.
I'm sure they all suck.
They do.
Pretty much every video game. Why is it cursed that every video game movie sucks ass?
You didn't see Mortal Kombat?
Hey, the first Mortal Kombat movie was
The first
amazing.
one was good.
The first one was amazing.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah, they did it
We'll
right.
still rewatch it.
I'll rewatch it for the
Wreck-It Ralph wasn't terrible.
No, I'm saying movies that are made off of an existing video game franchise.
Also, video games that is influenced by a movie is bad. Like Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank was a game first.
No, when it first came, not when it first came out, but when it revamped, it was basically the movie. I played
but I'm just saying the game came out first, and then they made a movie, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna turn that movie into a game,
which was bad.
Actually, the Toy Story game on Nintendo 64 was really
that game was hard as fucking shit.
We need to have a segment of hardest games.
I beat it. It wasn't that hard.
Fuck you.
Were you a kid?
Yeah.
That's why. I told you. The Mega Man talk me and you had. Yeah. I could beat Mega Man as a kid. Now, game hard.
That fucking game was hard as shit.
There's certain games I could beat as a
Have
kid
y'all
that
played?
I can't beat now.
Have y'all played
and,
Lion King?
And vice versa.
That game was fucking hard as shit.
That game was fucking hard. You doing the Super Nintendo one?
And Sega. It came out on Sega too.
Yeah, on both. Yeah, that game's hard as fuck, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that they like
oh my God.
Lion King was our like the 90s version of Dark Souls. That was Lion King is Dark Souls. That's what it was.
Games, but they definitely were not fucking around. Lion King, they just were not fucking around. Like, get your ass in here. We're gonna whoop.
Whoever made it just didn't like kids. That's what it was. That's what it was.
That game was hard as fucking shit.
You just go to sit here and you gonna be pissed off for the rest of the day.
Bugs Life? That game was hard as fucking shit.
Y'all niggas ever played the Japanese version of Ninja Gaiden 2?
Yeah.
The old one?
Yeah.
Dog, that game is fucking hard. Dog,
I didn't
play Ninja Gaiden? Yeah.
Impossible.
Dog, enemies hit you for half. Regular enemies hit you for half, Clay.
I know. It's not. That game's not possible.
Fucking
It's
regular Ninja Gaiden on hard was pretty fucking hard.
No.
Yeah, the people they still hit you for hit
3D or 3D or the old school one.
I'm talking about the
The NES one, right?
Okay, because
no. It wasn't NES. It was I think I was playing it on 360. It was
that was easy.
Yeah.
No. That like if you put it on hard, they still hit you for half.
Game was easy.
They still hit you for half of regular.
That's why you don't fucking get hit. The game was easy.
I never played that one, so I don't know.
It's a button mashing game.
It was a button mashing game and dodge.
Yeah.
Just fucking dodge. They have super charge up moves, and if you sat there and thought you were going to be able to take that, you're a fucking fool.
Yep.
I never get hit by those. I got hit by random niggas I got jumped basically.
That's also called situational awareness.
That's where you jump out, just jump away, double jump out the way, backflip, go that way.
Stop tunnel vision. Tunnel vision in game.
All right, guys. I think we should talk about the next topic. But if you guys do want us to talk about video games,
I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
For sure. No, you had something.
The bitch.
The
You
shit.
can give like a quick summary because it will be secondhand knowledge, but you should give a quick summary of like
Poo bitch.
Yeah.
Drip.
it's the poo ho.
And it wasn't R. Kelly who did this.
Yeah, true. For once.
Facts.
For once.
So there was an article written about like this from this one girl. Yeah, I couldn't find the original source material, but there is an article out about a girl's experience about her being flued out to like a bit
flown.
It's
okay.
Like
no, I thought that's a flute. Is that slang for something like that?
Flown out.
There.
Airplane.
It was like kind of like an inside joke. If you ever watched like there was an audition video for like the City Girls or whatever, and the bitch was.
Don't worry
she
about
said,
it. Man.
She said that the top whatever girl's gonna get flued out, and it was a big
I just didn't know if you were talking about like the flu or something.
Yeah. But she got flown out.
You got flued out on
That's
flown out man. For all for like anything goes trip. Basically, there's guys rich. They just fly girls out to do it. Her homegirl convinced her to go with her. It was like her and
see women. Y'all just do this to yourselves, man. Once again.
It was like her homegirl.
Want that Italian guy off?
It was her homegirl, and another girl.
I'm still mad that happened. I'm sorry. Please see previous podcasts.
Please see episode
Please
6.
see,
about
like,
the
sub, and
bitch.
subscribe. Like, sub, and hit that bell.
Anyway, so
Sorry.
they flew her out.
Yeah. And basically they got 40 grand for anything goes weekend. They get 10 at the airport. They get 30 when they leave.
Okay.
So basically they go back to whatever whoever's house. The guy is rich. He has servants. So the servants are bringing them food or whatever. So basically, after they done eating, the servants is like, it's time. They take them back into the room. Each girl gets 4 guys.
4.
Wow.
And they're just fucking the hell out of these girls and pissing on them.
Drip, drip, drip.
And there's like tarps down. So there's tarps down and stuff like that.
So they
like
were
a
okay
murder
with
scene.
pissing.
Like
I've
just
been freaked out over that.
because they just didn't want the piss to get everywhere, kind of. But like the girl was like, "Oh, it's okay. My boyfriend pees on me anyway." She's just cool with being pissed on.
For some reason, I feel like they're black.
And then at the end of the night, there's a guy that just came in. It was like after their break because they probably needed to break after just 4 dicks at them. Yeah. So like he comes in at break time's over. He goes over her, squats and shits on her chest. This girl, she starts throwing up. And he holds it in and was like, if you don't let me finish, you're not going to get the rest of the money.
Wow.
Because she has to take it. It is anything goes weekend.
Wow.
She can't stop throwing up. She only got 10 grand for that whole trip.
I don't want to talk.
I hope her boyfriend finds out.
I'm really hoping that her boyfriend finds out too. Well, I don't know. She publicly wrote this, so like her boyfriend might have found out and just been like, her boyfriend might have already knew and just was like, "Hey, you better bring them 40 grand back."
He's probably sitting there just thinking to himself, "She's okay with pissing, but not the poops."
And he just,
I don't think any of that's okay.
He was like,
It's not.
Her boyfriend, she just came up to her. Listen, they tried to offer me $40K to go out there and fuck. Bitch, we broke. Get out there. We broke.
Shake and dance.
Why you ain't let that man shit on you? Huh? We broke, nigga. We hungry.
We all
Hungry. You gotta feel the pain when you say hungry.
They have to make Brie Larson do this to make up for the box office losses.
You know that movie?
You better get out there.
I think that
We
movie
gotta-
grossed. It was number 6 in the open for one of the best box office openings.
Really?
Yeah.
But
okay, so it actually did all right.
I think I blame and
People still weren't excited about it.
It's because I think realistically this movie got so much fucking views because Endgame comes out next month.
Yeah, no, it's 100% just riding on that.
34 days counting.
But if they do something like this shit again, then it ain't gonna fly.
They're making a Scroll They're making a Scroll movie.
Word?
Yeah, they're making a Scroll movie.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not looking forward to it. But it's supposed to be coming out like 2021 or 2022.
Okay.
They're making a Scroll movie, but
They're
There you go,
also
guys. There's the announcement.
also making a Disney Super Pet movie.
Super Pet movie.
Yeah, Disney Super Pets. They already did the cartoon version of it.
Well, shit, I was gonna say Crypto the Wonder Dog, but I don't know anymore.
That's DC.
I know it's DC.
Yes,
That's why
DC.
that's
my
why I
bad.
stopped myself.
It's DC, my bad.
DC's coming out
Oh,
Super
it's DC,
Pets.
not
Yeah,
Disney.
yeah, DC.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
like.
okay, yeah.
My
When
bad.
he said,
I was trying to think of
That's
Super
happened to me
Pets and
twice
the-
where I said like,
I was like
yeah, Crypto. It would be Crypto. It'd be
Rocket Raccoon. Super Pets.
who was it? Fucking.
I honestly don't know the Super
There's a
Pets.
couple of them.
It's separate.
Oh, there's a Bat Dog.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
Bat
yeah,
Dog.
there's
There's
Bat
Crypto. Well, there's
Who
two,
are they gonna be
There's
fighting?
two bat dogs. There's two bat dogs. There's the Hound. That one was kind of broken.
That man was crazy.
What's the name of that green? What's the name of that Green Lantern squirrel? What's the name of the squirrel from Green Lantern?
Ow.
The nigga that attacks brainwaves.
Yes.
Like there's a whole squirrel in the Green Lantern Corps that can kill Superman.
Yeah. He only caught him off guard.
Yeah, he only won because he caught him off guard. He went up to him. Superman underestimated him. Green Lantern, he raked the ring at him, and then Superman's powers. Chip.
He was my profile picture for
Superman's powers didn't work anymore. You know why? Because he cut off the synapses that made his brain make his powers come to whatever. What I can't pronounce it, but right now I can find the word.
That makes no sense. It's not where
doesn't.
Superman gets his powers from. It's not from his brain.
Well,
his son.
He's controlling it,
his
using
brain
it.
controls his powers.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his like.
But
he's like,
that
I'm
means
small.
Superman would just go vegetative and like shit on himself.
It's more or less like bodily functions. It's like restricting his ability to manifest a full strength. Like he could hit, but he wouldn't hit as hard. He couldn't activate his he was still cognitive. It's just like it was like putting a super limiter on him.
I see.
Yeah,
and I bet you the main villain is going to be Dexstar.
Dog, I love Dexstar.
Hell yeah.
Dexstar is the best.
He had such a sad story. He was just a cat that wanted to live his life with his old lady that adopted him.
I hate that.
All right, we are way off topic, and we're also pretty much out of stuff to talk about.
Fair enough.
And I'm tired.
Yeah, it's past 1 a.m.
Yeah, I want to drink. And my shoulder hurts.
Man.
I'm gonna take a nap, a whole nap.
Whole nap? You mean sleep?
Nah, he is good work in the morning.
What time?
Well, see, it's like 12, but it's not bad. So it's a whole nap.
12 noon is when you gotta be at work.
Excuse me, sir. Normally it's
So
like
that's
I normally have to wake up at
hours?
5:30.
Okay.
So fuck yourself.
I was wondering, you said you were gonna take a nap, but you got till 12 noon.
I am gonna take a nap because I have a bunch of stuff I have to do. We have a bunch of items now. We have to, and I gotta figure out what's gonna be put up on the store. And
that's fair.
We have so much shit.
Just do that though.
All right.
That's what I'm probably gonna do.
Just don't go to sleep and go to work. Whatever.
Well, all right.
I gotta be to work.
Stop shitting, Jojo. Stop
I gotta
shitting.
be
Don't
to
you shit
work.
at me. I'm killing Jojo.
At 1:30.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, shit.
Good night.
I hope you shit yourself.
God.
I hope you shit yourself.